And we're back, guys. Hey, this is what I don't even know how to go over this. This is literally the WrestleMania of car talk that's about to go down right now. This is going to be the Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, what else? Any major sporting event combined into this chaos that's about to happen right now.
Corey, you made that sound so cool. I feel like it's just going to be a sad glimpse into the pastimes of some guys.
No,
it was the reason why, you know, all of us haven't gotten this done or that done, because we spent too much time on Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, and so on.
Well, absolutely no work got done today because I was just prepping for this.
Well, the only reason I said that is because I brought up wrestling because I was just watching Vin wrestle this food shoving into his mouth, and I was like, God damn, this dude's just wrestling mouthfuls into his mouth.
Well, I knew I had a big task today of being on this here live stream, so I wanted to make sure I was well nourished, and I only had a couple minutes, so I had to eat fast, and I had a fork and rice, so you know there was lunch shrapnel just all in the beard.
Look, it's a fact of life that you have to carb load when Craigslisting cars,
and
you can't leave.
Straight up, and like I'm not going outside, so I'm not brushing the beard. It's super nappy. It's unkept. You know,
This is the first time I've had a shirt on in like a week.
Well, speaking of Carlo, Braun, we noticed the Wi-Fi. You had some bad Wi-Fi signal, so you went to looks like Taco Bell.
Yeah, dude, I'm in a Taco Bell in the 90s right now. I figured I'd throw it back a little bit.
You know, think about how simple the menu was at Taco Bell in the 90s. I mean, it was basically like a taco or a Mexican pizza, and that was really it. Like,
yeah, simple menu, overly extra kitchen decor. I mean, like main lobby decor. Look at this.
I mean, the main lobby decor is actually the same livery that is on every RV from 1993 to 2013.
Yo, real quick Taco Bell story while we're waiting for everyone to jump on right now. First time I ever had Taco Bell, I was with my uncle. I was like 9 years old. It was Christmas Eve, and we were shopping for like, you know, Christmas presents for the family. And I was with him. You met Ron, you met Uncle George. Vin, you met Uncle George. And he brought me to Taco Bell, and then that night we went to midnight mass, right? So like if you live in, I don't know, and that's probably a thing everywhere, but in New York, I feel like midnight mass is like the big thing everyone would go to. So we go to midnight mass, and like half an hour before mass, I immediately start to feel sick, and I'm telling my mom I feel sick, and she's like, "Yeah, sure, you feel sick just in time to go to church. Like, cut the bullshit, you're going." No, I really, really feel sick. Anyway, fast forward to I throw up in the pews, and my mom starts ushering me out of the church as we're like heading down, and the door opens, and it's like right at the beginning of mass, and this woman walks in like a brand new mink coat, like a crazy mink fur, and I just projectile vomit next to all over this lady as she's just screaming, and my mom just said, "Well, you can't afford that, mate," and just like pushes me out of the church and disappear. So anyway.
I have a similar story with KFC original bowls, but out the other end, and it was on a road trip. I didn't make it one exit. Do you know the KFC original bowl where they took like their entire family meal and just put it in a bucket for you?
Yeah, this is a good time.
I wonder why you specify what type of food it is on the way out. Because like once it's in the body and it comes back up, does it matter if it was Mexican food or?
Oh yeah, that little spicy burn. That also.
Okay.
Anyway,
like if you said, "Oh, I had lettuce," you can imagine. Lettuce won't be too bad, but if you're like, "Oh, dude, I just had fire sauce on a double decker,"
kind of bad stomach flu where you can't eat that food ever again. 2 years in a row at FD Long Beach, I had a stomach flu and ended up getting sick while I was at FD Long Beach. And the first time was a tuna sandwich from Subway. I've never been able to eat tuna from Subway.
You shouldn't eat a tuna sandwich from Subway anyway. I mean, don't do it.
I mean, these are the things you learn in life, you know?
Subway paints the grill marks on their chicken. It's fact.
They just have a little cardboard cutout.
Yeah.
All right, let's we getting at it. What's going on?
Wait, hold on, Scott. You know, before we go at it, I know it's gonna be a hot and heavy topic. We got to give a shout out to our boys at Falcon Tire. Falcon Tire giving us the arena to battle on the ultimate $2,500 race car challenge, which That's one thing we do have to talk about, by the way, is what type of race car are we talking about?
Race car is a universal term for anything that you feel is fast.
Road racing, would even Lemons Racing fall in this 25, or is this more of a prestigious type of car?
So where the concept came from me and where the $2,500 number came from was before Lemons, before anyone chump car, before anyone was doing that. Grassroots Motorsports Magazine, GRM, big shout out to those guys. I loved that book when I was a kid. JG, all the guys over there. They did a challenge which started as the $2,000 challenge, and then it was like the $2,001 challenge, and every year they did, whatever the year was the dollar value, and they built some really cool cars, and they used to have to drag race, autocross, and then they also had like the show side of it, and then they had like a track event. So I've always like loved the idea of like the $2,000 build. This is kind of in that same thought, but I think what we're thinking is like a $2,500 platform, and then you drop like another $2,500 into it to like make it, a reliable but also fun vehicle. So it's like a $5,000 all in, like that's the pot. Get it done, and then you have to be able to prove that car exists by finding it for sale.
We should ask the chat if what they feel the likelihood is of you finding a car that you feel you have to purchase on today's stream.
I mean, this is like
honestly the worst thing about searching cars for pleasure.
Guys,
when you search cars for like pastime and then you find something that's a good deal and then you're like, oh shit, I think I have to buy this now.
Yo, last night I was researching for the show and almost bought a Mitsubishi Galant VR4.
Why?
That's how I ended up with my Evo. I bought it on accident. I blacked out, and when I saw it and I drove it, I was like, oh, I bought this thing.
Yeah, but the Evo's cool. A Galant VR4 is like...
Oh my God, a Galant VR4 is mad cool. Somebody in the chat when we were starting out said 8th gen Galant. I don't know about that.
I don't even know what an 8th gen Galant is. Well, why are they making so many gens of the Galant? Is there a demand for the Galant?
I love
clamoring.
I love Mitsubishi cars, but I was recently in Dallas and I drove past a Mitsubishi dealership, and it was a huge dealership and it had like this huge Mitsubishi flag. And I thought to myself, how could there even be enough Mitsubishi still left to like validate having a dealership? And guess what? The entire dealership was filled with Dodge Caravans.
Whoa! Oh, I think I'm an idiot. The Galant VR4 was the 4G63.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, that thing's kind of cool. I was thinking of
holy cool.
I don't remember what
four-door Eclipse.
No, I was thinking of the 3000 GT.
That's also
yeah.
Cool. The 3000 GT VR4 also cool. And if you were into PlayStation Gran Turismo 1, that was the ultimate cheater car. 930 horsepower, had the best kit to it, had the full JDC setup. No, that was the car.
The 3000 GT was hands down my favorite car when I first got into cars, and then my dreams were crushed. This sport compact car used to do the the ultimate street car challenge way back in the day. And this dude showed up in a drop top 3000 GT and got mopped by everybody. It was like the slowest understeering, like embarrassing car. It crushed my dreams, but they're still dope.
I've never actually owned a 3000 GT, and I've only played them on Gran Turismo, so I don't have that much experience with them. But aren't they impossible to work on?
Yeah, because they have a rear steer, don't they? Or they have some sort of...
Well, they got rear steering. They got the later ones had like the exhaust flaps and adjustable aero, but the V6 took up the entire engine bay.
Brian, we might actually have an award for the coolest 14-year-old. Martin Jalecki from the chat said he's got an XR4 Ti that he's building into a rally car, and he's 14. He's off to such bad decisions right off of the bat.
Man,
young to be making such bad decisions like that.
I can only hope that my son follows in his footsteps.
I was just gonna say, Scotto will adopt you.
Yeah. If you need it, let me know, man. Let me know. So, all right. So how we're gonna do this? Let's give some background on this. This originally started as a podcast idea, right? So when we were talking about doing podcasts and what we wanted to do, Vinny and I were like, let's do a podcast that we just talk about Craigslist buys, like things that we've been searching on Craigslist, all of that. So that ended up not becoming a podcast, but now we're going to pilot it right now. And when Ron came on the team, we told Ron about this, and he was like, hell yeah, I'm down. I want to talk about cars that I may or may not buy on Craigslist and so on. And Ron gave it the name Good Cop, Bad Cop. Should you cop this car or should you not cop this car? So this today will be a pilot for Good Cop, Bad Cop. I don't know. We're going to just feel it out, figure out what the formula is here today. The goal will be to have a list at the end of what the best 5 cars for under $2,500 are, but also to try to go find those cars on Craigslist, see what's available, and then you guys as a group in the chat can decide whether or not cars are good cops or bad cops. Each of us brought our own list in, so we've got our initial list of where we think we stand. So, Corey, you want to hit everyone with some of the early kind of cars that we were thinking about?
Yeah,
and based off of our own current Craigslist search.
Who should I start with first? Should I start with Ron Venerscato? Chat, who should we start with? Should I start with Ron Venerscato? And I've already seen the list, and I don't know if you guys shared the list with one another, but I've happened to see them, and there's some spicy selection that you dudes came up with that I wouldn't have.
I only put like 34 seconds worth of thought into mine, so I wish I would have.
That's the point.
I want to call out a comment real quick. Someone said Facebook Marketplace is the new Craigslist, and I would say that's an understatement of the year, because Facebook Marketplace knows what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Nah.
They know what you want. They show you cars you didn't even think you knew you needed.
No, but I'll say this.
Still, you have to do the work. On Craigslist, you have to do the work. On Facebook Marketplace, it does the work for you.
But I'll say that I supported you up until like a couple days ago when I realized that I absolutely hate looking for things on Facebook Marketplace. There's a difference. Craigslist, you go on and you can find what you want. Facebook Marketplace, you have to go on and just scroll until you maybe come across something cool. Because if you search a type of car you're looking for, 1,000 other listings, not even somewhat related, will show up. Their search is terrible. It's trash.
So with that being said, Vin, it looks like chat unanimously, everybody unanimously voted Vin. So let's go to Vin's screen here, and let's see. And this could be in any order, but I'm going to start from the bottom, Vin, and I'm very curious to see where you got this one from, but I love the concept. So Vin's number 5 as of right now is the Bentley Continental GT.
Okay, so it's not quite at $2,500 yet, but they're getting really close. I feel like you can get one for like $3,500.
This is the wrong list for that car, because they are incredibly cheap, but they're not $2,500. I want to see a link right now of the cheapest one you can find.
Fine, I'll find one. It's not going to be listed for $2,500, but I'm thinking with a little bit of persuasion, you can get really close.
I agree. They don't have to be listed for $2,500. But I think like $3,500 is the highest you could list something for, and with confidence offer a man $2,500. You're offering them a third less than they asked for. And that's
yeah, I agree. I was actually going to say like to get it for $2,500, yeah, like $3,500 to max. Like no one's getting. You're not going to cut your price in half.
You're also going to spend another $2,500 just trying to get it home.
By the way, have you ever driven a Bentley Continental GT? They're like the worst fucking car ever. Like
what?
The Continental GT is such a trash car.
I know, but I think it's hilarious that you can get them for like $25,000.
Oh,
I think you get them even cheaper. I've seen them for like $16,000, not $2,500.
No, it's obviously a joke, but it's pretty wild that you can get them for so cheap and look like a complete boss.
That means, you can pick up Flying Spurs, which I think are actually a better car because they're built on the Audi A8L platform. You can pick that up for like $22,000 right now.
And what year range would that be in?
2006, 2007.
I think the closest Bentley you can get to that price is the Turbo R, which has to be fast because it's got turbo and R in the
name. It's got all the things.
You talking about the Arnage?
Huh?
You talking about the Arnage Turbo R?
No, just Bentley Turbo R.
I watched them. I was at what's the big auction? I'm blanking.
Barrett Jackson.
Barrett Jackson. I was at Barrett Jackson in your hometown years ago. I was there with Ryan Dunn. And rest in peace, Ryan. And we were there, and we watched a Bentley Arnage R pass the block and sell for like $3,200. All right, so
All
number
right.
4, Vin. Number 4, bring them out.
Number 4. Here's number 4. Ven's list, and these could be changed. Once you guys see the list, we can organize them any which way. But number 4, S95 Mustang.
Oh yeah, big
Strong.
time, dude.
That's a strong setup.
And I don't like those at all. Like I think SN95s are the ugliest, wackest Mustang ever. But I feel like from a performance standpoint, dollar for dollar, it's a really good bargain because there's so much aftermarket. Like you get parts for those things new for cheap.
Mm-hmm. And I think in some organizations too, they're starting a spec series, which hopefully will help support the S95 community.
No spectators allowed.
No spectators. Okay, so there's Vin's number 4.
By the way, the chat is snapping on your typo there, Corey. That doesn't say SN95.
Hey, I'm just the messenger. I didn't make it. I'm just the messenger.
Someone said Fox Body, and I wish Fox Bodies were still cheap because they're not.
People are asking for photos of the SN95 because I think they get confused with the next generation, which is what SN98 or whatever, 97, whatever the next one was. So can you give them a photo of the SN95, Vin? Can you hook them up real quick?
It's gotta be the maroon one from the marketing, you know.
And Peter M in the chat. SN95 Mustangs are for dudes who can't afford a Fox Body. Too true.
Man,
Just swinging them today. The maroon tan interior.
Hold on, folks. I'm pulling it up. I'm getting the photo.
Canadian Automotive Media says, "Come up here. Foxes are dirt cheap. They'll also probably disintegrate in 2 seconds."
I'll be honest, as a kid, I hated Mustangs.
Just look at this thing. It's terrible.
Yo, don't talk too loud. Don't talk too loud because Ashley will hear you. Ashley needs to have one of these supercharged with like 500 horsepower.
Just give it a look.
Hers was actually pretty badass because it was like all black and black.
Honestly, if you converted those wheels to 3-piece, though, they could be pretty sick.
So yeah, that's a SN95 Mustang. The problem is that when Fox bodies were $2,500 at one point, but now you cannot find a Fox body for anywhere less than like $4,000.
No, you can, but they're trash. I found some last night. They all start with and this is my favorite Craigslist trick or any classified trick, is it's the lead photo is what the car could look like.
Oh,
that's hot.
Oh, yeah. They give you the project vision.
It's the worst.
Hold up, folks.
Wait. What do we got?
Folks, I'm sorry. It's on a website that won't let me load its photo, but let's just take a gander here real quick because I found one that's actually pretty dope. Would you look at this?
Yeah, that's kind of how Ashley's looked.
Damn, on the MT-03s?
On NT-03s with the drag radial, and of course, like any Mustang, if you got a Mustang, you got to have at least a 15-inch cal hood.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you just have a plenum spacer on there. You're rocking a 15-inch cal.
Chat's going crazy right now. I think we have a war going on in chat between a Fox body and the SN95 right now.
How is that? There's no competition.
We're going to have a full-blown fist fight in chat.
For the price.
Corey, if anyone says an SN95 is better than a Fox body Mustang, get them from the top rope. Just get onto the top rope and you get after it.
I think the SN95 is probably a better driver's car than the Fox body. The Fox body is great because it has legacy to it, but have you driven a stock Fox body, man? It's not great. It just isn't.
I lived in New York my whole life and then lived in Long Island. So the Fox body Mustang
it's actually the official
about as ingrained in Long Island DNA as the chin strap. So like it's right there.
Yeah, for me as a kid, you either owned a Fox body Mustang or a G body. Those were the only two vehicles you were allowed to have, and you had to drive around and throw things at kids on skateboards. Like that.
You want to know how Italian I am? My dream car growing up as a kid was an IROC Z.
Of course it is. We all know what IROC Z stands for. We don't have to say it on. We all know what it is.
So going back to Vin's list, we're going to pretend that says SN95. Right above that, number 3, we're going to go with the DC2 Integra.
Yo.
That's strong. That's a strong number. That's a strong car right there.
I mean, I have a soft spot for those. I think that they're awesome looking. So
you owned one when you were in Hoonigan.
Huh?
You had one when you were at Hoonigan, right?
Yeah, I bought one as a daily driver. Honestly, I went through the weirdest cycle of cars because I sold my I think I sold my C6 Z06, which was my daily driver, and bought a 97 DC2 Integra LS bone stock.
Yo, but I remember you didn't even tell anyone you bought it. I just showed up to work one day and I'm like, whose Integra is this? And then
Yeah, because
you were
buying cars,
like, oh, that's mine.
buying cars for me is like this weird secret mission where I'm kind of embarrassed of what I'm doing. So I just do it, and then I just hope people don't catch on, and then I have to answer questions about it.
You realize that is the definition of a problem, right?
Yeah, I know.
Like you go and do it in secret, you know, like riding scooters.
So I never really take days off work unless I'm going somewhere. And one day recently, I took off work, and I didn't say why. I was just like, I'm not going to be in today, and kind of
Personal matters. Personal
Brian,
matters.
Brian literally calls me at the end of the day, and he goes, "What did you buy?" And I was like, "Yeah."
It's too real, dude. But the DC2, honestly, I knew one of you guys were going to pick it because that's the cheat code of this whole entire idea. There was that one DC2 at Button Willow that was running 156s or lower, which is fast for Button Willow, and he didn't have a ton done to it.
The black one, the Mag Blue TEs with the K series.
Yep.
I will tell you, I didn't put it on my list because I figured one of you two would, but I do have 3 links to Craigslist ads to talk about them.
Oh, same, yeah. Because a lot of people are saying, where would you find a DC2 for $2,500?
I bought mine for $2,500.
Yeah, there's so
original owner, LS, red, 5-speed, and it was cherry. I mean, I sold it for $5,000, but
how far did you get into the DC2? Was it just a daily, or did you actually throw some parts at it?
It was a daily. I didn't want to modify it because I had the M3 and the C10 at the time, so I had my hands full.
Yo, Andrew Woods ordering the 5-layer with the Baja Blast. I got you.
Are you taking orders down, Ron? Guys, what's your Taco Bell order? Throw it in chat. Taco Bell order.
Let me get a cheesy gordita crunch. Send it over.
Bro, this is 90s. There was no gordita back then, man.
They had the Enchilito. Do you remember the Enchilito song?
No.
We'll have to pull that up at some point.
Dude, I got excited when the Mexican pizza came out in the early 2Ks.
You know, I don't think I've ever ordered a Mexican pizza.
It goes back to the 80s, man.
Well, maybe I'm just too young for this. I'm not a big boomer. I gotta get back to my.
I'm not a boomer, bro.
Hold on.
Yo, is being called a boomer worse than being called a millennial?
I don't know. That's why I like being Gen X, because I'm just in the middle watching everyone fight.
Dude, it's like Braveheart. Boomers versus millennials is like the Braveheart lineup.
Scotto's an encyclopedia of Taco Bell and old cars. All right, back to Sven.
Gen X, so everyone right
the hashtag Scotto Boomer.
No, I didn't start
it. Chat does not care.
No.
Generation X, the reason you have cool things like the internet and shit like that.
All right.
Weird flex, but okay.
All right, Vin, start off Bentley Continental because you can pick up a beater for about $25,000. That's the 95 Mustang before DC2 Integra number 3. Number 2 on Ven's list. We're dropping the Mazda Miata.
Yo, the Miata is hands down the best cheap track car ever. It is. It's the best. Alex Bernstein has a 600 horsepower 1M. He drove a bone stock engine NB Miata at the track and was like, I don't know why I wasted so much money building my car.
Yeah, but
because the thing with the Miata is you can drive it 15 tenths and feel like a hero, but you can't drive most cars that that hard, and they just take it. So it's good, but they're getting expensive now too.
What I was saying earlier about the Miata, the beautiful thing about it is there's so many series and organizations that will have a spec Miata series where it's literally the cheapest form of racing that you could step into at a reasonable cost.
And I like that the car is what did you bring this up for?
Hold on. Let's talk about Scotto's tab game real quick. And this is tame.
Yo,
this is tame.
Ram Slayer.
I mean, cheapest Integra I could find right now, still at $2,800.
It's not bad.
5-speed though.
Okay, so let's do this. If you were to walk to this dude's house, what would you offer him cash right now?
2200.
Let's see what the details here say.
Oh, yo, it's got an intake. You know it doesn't pass smog.
Selling
First question. You got smog cert?
Integra RS, tags till next year, runs like a champ. Oh, car has a brand new motor with 75K on it. Old one blew on me, so we already know that's kind of sketchy.
Real ITR rims.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of those, like, yo, you keep the rims, I'll come with my own.
That's a good one.
I just hit someone with that this morning about a LS6 RX-7.
Well, it's always bad when you tell people, like, the rims alone are worth $750 to $1,000 because you're like, cool, man, I don't need the wheels. You could drop $1,000 right off that price. You already said you could sell them for $1,000.
Right.
That's always the
Ooh. So, Vin, you're going in at 2200, low balls to 2200 with wheels, or are you giving the wheels back?
Oh yeah, 2200 all in.
Oh, he says at the bottom, 20, not a penny less, or 20.
He says penny less, not 2200. Bring your Steelies. So this guy's already thought through.
What if I had a set of GSR swirlies to stun on you?
All right, so quick question, because I know I've had this thought before. He says at the end, may be willing to trade for a truck. I've seen a lot of cars and random shit where they're willing to trade for a truck or a UTV or whatever. Vin, I know you've been on this path. You're like, okay, let me go find the illest deal on a UTV first, and then I'll trade this dude. Because
I would probably have done that in my younger days for sure. Like I've definitely bought a motorcycle to trade for a car before, but it's a risky move, you know? My thing with like flipping cars or going through cars a lot is you always got to buy stuff that you are totally cool with getting screwed and having to keep it.
Yeah.
Oh man, beige interior, that just dropped $500 for me.
And that's coming out anyway.
Pulling it all out to build a race car, even just pulling that interior out just makes me sick. Oh, and a beige dash.
Oh, out. I'm out. I'm out.
Yeah, pull out. We got to get out of this one.
Yeah.
All right, keep going.
All right, Vin. So that was your number 2. Vin's number 1. I want to say we all expected this. It's going to be a heavy hitter. It would be on one of my personal top. But here it is, guys. The Vin's number 1. Poof. BMW E36.
Come on. But thinking about it now, I probably would say E46 because most of the E36s are in like really trash condition, but you could get like a pretty good condition E46 for about the same price.
And I'll tell you, on my searches last night, I saw more E46s than E36s that were stock. Every E36 I saw was like slammed on some crappy springs with like, they just were all haggard. The E46 market still has like nice, like, you know, 2 to 3 owner cars, manual transmission, not like a car that's just been handed around to 1,000 people. So yeah, E46 might be a good one there.
Yeah, it really is. It's crazy how cheap they are. And like for most stuff, like you can just drive them as is. I mean, like
it's one of the newest cars you can find for under $2,500. That's not like a Kia or a Hyundai.
So
and they last longer because like a G35 you can get for about the same price, but the VQs blow up if you beat on them. Like,
I don't know. Ashley has a G35 with 235,000 miles on it. That thing runs.
She takes care of it.
She does.
Yeah, she's a responsible human being.
Yeah, by the way,
I'm saying like
G35 with 230,000 miles on it. That's a 2-owner car. Ashley's owned it for 210,000 miles. It's for sale.
Yeah, but like she's like she drives it like a human and like takes care of it. Like if you bought that car and you
paint on it, she had it repainted like 2 years ago. I'm like, why'd you paint a 200,000 mile car?
So one thing I want to ask chat too is, hey guys, hashtag not your list or hashtag my list. Are you guys siding with Vinny? Is this a good list? What do you guys think? How does it rank? Hashtag not my list or hashtag my list. Spam it in chat now.
Also, while we're on it, someone, Joe Alex, just commented, let's annoy Scotto with the e-chassis thing. So yesterday, Vin, Ron, you may have missed it on chat, but Hurt has officially gone out into the public and has started referring to E36s and E46s as e-chassis.
Yeah, he's been saying that for like years.
I know, but it's always been an inside Hoonigan thing. It's now out there.
Yeah,
it's out there. So like,
Her came back from Poland and was like, "Yo, I'm converted to e-chassis." We're like, what? He's like, e-chassis, you know, like E36, and it just all downhill from there.
let's see. In going through chat right now, there's a lot of not my list, but getting down to the bottom, Vin, you may have 6 people on your side right now out of about 300.
If you don't like Vinny's list,
I can't wait till we get to Scotto's or Ron's.
all right, Ron, you up next. Ron,
All right.
I like how wait. Will Rogie just said just how F chassis isn't a thing either. So like RX-7s are not F chassis.
Well, the problem with E chassis is almost every single vehicle that BMW made up until about 5 years ago was E dash something. So it's not like even the like X5 was an E vehicle. Just whatever. Anyway, let's move on.
All right, here we go. Taco Bell Ron. Ron's top 5.
All right, and this isn't. I didn't put them in any kind of order, just as a.
And I do have an extra one on there. Ron is a ringer, and you could debate
Okay.
the ringer that we have on there.
Okay.
But if I were to go back down to your number 5, it looks like it is going to be Mitsubishi Eclipse.
First gen Eclipse.
Are we
Well,
talking?
mine won.
Wait. Are we talking like all-wheel drive turbo 4 Eclipse? You cannot find one for under $2,500. I challenge you.
All right, hold
Because I
on.
look all the time, and at first,
Oh, you know what you could get though, Ron? You could get yourself a Cherry 2003 Mitsubishi Eclipse. You know, the one that no one wants.
I don't even know. I refuse to accept that those exist.
no, I will say $5,000. You can find an Eclipse or anything out of the DSM family for
No, friends. Hold
And most
on.
of them have 400
Whoa.
We got one out here, Ron.
No engine light in the title. No engine light in the title.
It's 2 different cars.
What are we
No,
getting?
he's got it also.
He's got a Prelude.
You
He's
get
got
the
a second-gen Prelude.
That's your deal.
Hold up. Because I knew.
But where is that? Is that a front wheel drive?
Hold on, Vinny, are you on that? Okay, so here's the deal. You can get a front wheel drive. I've got one up right here for $1,000, and then you do the conversion. Or if it's a track car,
Walk us through the conversion because I don't know much about that, but it will definitely broaden my searches tonight. So tell me.
well,
about it.
it's super it's super easy to convert to Evo Brembos, and it's super easy to just find all the parts for the rest of the all-wheel drive because nobody really runs those things.
So the rear
so-
subframe just bolts in.
Yeah, it's all there. Like it's the easiest swap ever. It
As
really
long
is.
as it's that.
But if you're doing track stuff or highway roll racing, because it's streetfire.net 2001, you could even keep it front wheel drive, keep those parasitic losses down. You know what I mean?
So
Vin, you're sharing screen right now.
isn't the Hyundai Tiburon also built?
No, I'm not sharing screen, Ron. You can go for it.
All right, hold on.
Let's see this bad boy.
Ron's gold finds right here.
Classic. All right, look at this.
Ron, are you looking at that in 110p?
I don't know. What do you mean?
I'm
Is
It's
it
so blurry.
19.
Oh, blurry.
is it blurry?
Yeah.
There it is. Internet
Oh,
kicked
there.
in.
Internet connection.
Fuck, that thing's kind of cool.
$1,000 or trade for a gaming PC. Right?
Yo, hit this dude up and tell him I got an Xbox. It's not really a PC, but it's a gaming thing.
Gaming console. I see like 4 different colors going on here alone, but whatever.
That's
It's got
not
the
bad.
flip-up headlights. It's got the signature little mark right here. You know that's
Yo,
not coming up any of these.
Parenthesis, oil droplets from other car.
I remember
No
the first
power
time-
steering.
I remember the
No
first time
power
I
steering.
saw-
That's one of those things that does worry me a little bit.
I remember the first time I saw an Eclipse, the second gen, which is like definitely a softer look, in my opinion. I remember the first time I saw one run 9 seconds. I was like, wow, I did not know cars could go that fast.
Wait, is that thing got a turbo?
Yeah, man, that's the GST. So that's
No.
front-wheel drive turbo.
Yeah. So that's
So
the
enhance that image 55x. Let's go. Let's look at that IWG it's got down in there. Just pinch in. Oh.
How's that 2P quality right there?
Wow.
Dude, first gen Eclipse is the first time my mind was absolutely blown by a first gen Eclipse was this guy right here, John Shepard. He was running like 7.7 in the early 2000s in a first gen DSM.
Yeah, I like how Dan's in the chat just throwing you shade. Like Ron needs another Evo.
It's pretty much just the Evo that handles terribly. That's all that is.
I love the reaction from chat is all over the board. They're just saying just no to, isn't that a Talon TSI?
I think my favorite thing about the chat is when people ask like completely irrelevant questions. Like, can I fit 35s on my stock height Tundra? Yeah, man, probably. I don't know. You just gotta cut some stuff.
You fit anything once you have a saw in your garage. You'll be
Look
good.
at this. We got the Liquid Moly 2nd gen hill climb Eclipse. Ugh.
Hey, can you throw that out there, Ron? We got any videos of that thing running?
I should. Let me see. I think I might have one queued up here somewhere.
Yeah.
So the Eclipse, like, that's just all the DSM cars. I don't know why I have this like fondness for them. I just love them. And one of the things that I learned was that I guess the Tiburon is sort of like a platform share for a bunch of Mitsubishi stuff, right, Ron?
It was. It was pretty much the first.
That's why John Buffum, great rally legend. They used to. They actually ran an all-wheel drive Tiburon in rally, right? I never understood why they ran a Tiburon. I guess they may be sponsored by Hyundai. I'm not sure, but
yeah, they had the Hyundai money, but
throw it in there.
Yeah, they had the Hyundai money, but they did a full Eclipse drivetrain.
Hurt does bring up a good point. He says you guys should buy one of these cars at the end of the game. So once
I'm super into that. I'm super into that. All right, here's that Liquid Moly. Look at that. Zamkeni Dvich Man Filter 2011.
By the way, I don't know why, but Liquid Moly, whenever I see that graphic, it gets me.
Is anyone other than Ron host this video?
This thing is...
Wait, anyone other than me? What?
Host the video? Because I think your internet connection's kind of slow.
Oh, is it? I'll send it to you.
There we go.
No, now you're loaded. You're loaded. You're good.
Play it.
I'm loaded? All right.
I love the way Switch
It goes 2 years faster than some people's cars.
I gotta say, downshifting this sequential box car is probably my most
100%. It's one of the greatest feelings on planet Earth. And then just a little throwback here.
That thing rips.
I love the no nitrous claim.
I gotta say that my favorite part about that video is on the up next bar. That intriguing video of a semi. It makes me want to watch like J-break competition videos or something.
A real outlaw trucking.
Back to Ron's. So Mitsubishi Eclipse, you showed some heavy hitters, Ron. Very heavy hitters.
Yeah, man. First gen Eclipse, you could still find them around. They're not as easy to find, but man, back in the day, I knew a kid that got one dirt cheap, put a Holset HX35 on there, some like unnamed CX Racing manifold, and dude, he was running like 11s way back in the day when we were all just going slow.
With Ron's number 4 coming off the Eclipse, I think this is something we can all get excited about. But if you can find one for this price, mad props to you. Number 4 coming in for Ron Carr, aka the Taco Bell man, is the Subaru GC8.
Absolutely. I mean, look, I've had a Subaru before. The motors aren't the best thing on the planet, but the GC8 is super light. It looks really dope. And Subarus are like Legos, man. There's so many of them out there. You could get like an EJ 255 from a 07 Plus WRX for dirt cheap. What are you laughing at, Brian?
Just the Commonwealth. People are just like, oh, they're just dropping in all the Subaru stuff. Not my list. Crank walk.
I gotta say, hey, Ron is right though. The parts are plentiful for a Subaru because when everyone has cracked ringlands and blown motors, they're just parting out their cars. So it's like
it's a given fact. Scotto was in the car when I destroyed the motor of my Subaru.
Yo, he was driving me to the airport, and we were coming downhill from Park City to Salt Lake, and we coasted for, I'm not exaggerating, 10 miles?
At least 10 miles. You missed your flight. We went to Solid Auto Works instead, and then I got a motor swap like 2 days later.
Yeah, it's good times, good times.
Someone said there's no way you could find them for under $2,500.
Untrue.
Maybe you can't find 2.5 RSs, but you can find GC8s.
Yo, hold up. Look at this. This is a good comp, especially because it's pretty cheap. So this one's $4,000, which you know you're going to get for like $3,300. And it's pretty nice. The bed, no AC, don't care. It's a race car. Has some rust on the driver's side quarter panel. It's California. It's not going to get any worse. No rear speakers. No muffler.
I didn't even know it came with rear speakers.
Yeah, this thing's pretty nice.
Dude, you could get like
that rust though.
You could get an early L, a front wheel drive Subaru L for dirt cheap because you're going to swap the drivetrain anyway. You're not going to keep the GCA drivetrain.
Yeah. I mean, what right now are WRXs going for? Like 2003, 2004s? Are they in that? They're in the sub $5,000 range.
Oh yeah,
it's still expensive.
Like $1,900.
Yeah, those because STIs are selling for like 12 to 15. So
which is crazy because I bought my STI for 13, like 8 years ago, and then sold it for 18.
Yo, Bug-Eye wagons, WRX wagons are still $7,500.
No way, dude. You could get a Bug-Eye wagon for like $4,000 or less.
Look at this one though.
That's the one I saw.
24.
At Cars Not Running, spun rod bearing. It's on my list.
Yeah, look at this. $7,500.
Yeah.
Who would pay that for that?
That's insane.
Well, that's a question for Chad. Chad, is that worth it? Is that a good price tag?
Go. Yeah, I had that listing up earlier. Is that on your computer, Brian?
No, it's on Vinny's.
$7,500.
The white
Honestly, it's a bad cop. Like, it's a cool car and I like it, but it's a lot of money for an 02 Subaru.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. The funniest thing is the funniest thing about those Subarus, the EJ205 especially, is you go to Naziok, the forum,
Nice.
and go to the dyno page. Dyno results.
That's where I lived.
1,000 cc injectors, GT35R, 312 wheel
Ooh.
horsepower. The salt run, the salt in the wound for that is your friend who had an Evo and had a 35R and made 650 wheel.
Yeah. That, dude, that
was my life because I had an STI and all my friends had Evos with like FP greens and it would just smoke me, even though I had a rotated 3076.
Yeah, the best one people would be like, I'm going to build my motor, I'm going to get 16G, and you still make less power than a stock Evo with a downpipe.
So, Ron, what's your thought about taking like an Impreza, which is Outback, which go way cheaper, and actually building one of those instead? So that's what I got up right now.
It's all right. Me personally, I'm not into the wagons. For whatever reason, I like wagons in general, but the Subaru wagons, for whatever reason, they just don't do it to me.
Mm. By the way, I didn't even know you could get OfferUp on your desktop. This is scary.
Oh, dude. OfferUp on desktop is really good because the worst thing about Facebook Marketplace, you have to search within a 100-mile radius anywhere. OfferUp, you could search nationwide.
Mm-hmm.
That's
you just
trouble.
I can't figure out how to make Marketplace go wide. I don't know. So, and by the way, I didn't really get into it, but I kind of love wagons. I'm a little disappointed you don't like wagons, but it's all right.
It's just the Subaru wagon.
Yeah. I really badly want an Audi 200 Turbo Quattro wagon right now. I feel like it'd be like the perfect dad mobile. So.
Okay.
All right, what's next?
All right, so going through Ron's list once again, 5th place Mitsubishi Eclipse, number 4 Subaru GC8, and then coming in 3rd place. Which once again, these are not final, guys. These can always be changed in the order of ranking depending on the debate. But following
this is just the beginning of the show. We're just laying out the ground. The fight hasn't even
started. It's getting started.
This is what you're bringing to your 5-man fight squad right here. So you're building your 5-man football team to annihilate the other team. So Ron's 3rd pick, softball pick, is going to be the BMW E46 330i. Very specific. It's not an E chassis. It's a very specific E46 330i.
I support that. I think that we already agreed on this. That's like the best buy right now.
Yeah. We don't need to talk about that one anymore. Move on.
Move on. Let's
We don't
move on
even
up.
need a listing because Dan's is already for sale.
Nice plug.
All right. Now, out of the list, Ron brings this thing out of left field, and it may be a strong competitor. I'm going to leave this up for you guys in chat to decide. Number 2 for Ron is the Nissan Hardbody.
Right.
Unexpected pick. So I will say, I knew that Ron was going to pick the hard body, and I tried to get Tony Harmer on the chat, but he was like, I'd rather not, which is the best Tony Harmer response to doing something.
I wish Tony Harmer would actually show up on the chat because it'd be fun to do Tony Harmer verse things. Like, I would love to hear him talk about like any one of our cars because he thinks everything we do is stupid.
So by the way, guys, Tony Harmer is one of my best friends. I've known him for 20 plus years. He was the photo director at 0 to 60 magazine. He's shot almost all of Ken's livery launches. He's worked with us for a long time. Amazing photographer. He's also one of like the just angriest and like salty people you've ever met. And he doesn't like any of us or any of you, which is why he would be fantastic on the show.
But he only likes like stock cars. So imagine him like reviewing like the Twerk Stallion. Like he would just be like so angry about everything.
He spent $5,000 in new bolts for his Volkswagen Jetta once and changed all the bolts over. So, but I will say this, anyone in the Volkswagen community, you probably remember Tony Harmer. He's probably one of the first dudes to run an aggressive offset. Like he had RH Alurads on that Jetta running like a 17x9, which like no one was doing in 2000. Like he was one of the first people to have a really cool wheel setup on that car. Anyway,
one segment I would want to talk about for like 4 minutes would be how replica wheels ruined wheels.
Well, we're gonna do a whole wheel episode of the best wheels. You versus Hurt, the best wheels ever made. Go, but we're gonna save that for a future episode. So obviously, yeah, we'll get into it. Hurt got into it yesterday, got hard on it, but I will say on the hard body, Tony Harmer had a hard body, and it's probably one of the easiest cars to drift in my experience.
The dude at Montoon
drives great. 5 manual hard body is a great car.
Yo, the dude at Montoon has a bone stock looking hard body. It's red and it has an RB25, and he even runs a cutout, so it has the stock exhaust out the back.
Oh.
It's the best. It's so sick.
D21 hard body, and I'm sure as any hard body fan knows, they came with the KA24. So you get a super cheap KA24 turbo kit or swap in whatever you want, beams, SR20, whatever. But honestly, they're super light. I forget, dude, I think they're like 2,700 pounds, something like that, maybe even less. And yeah, dude, they're sick. Like, can we talk about
that?
it?
Ooh,
hard body.
Yeah, man, those are hard. I'm into that.
Not that one.
I mean, look, some of these are a little rough around the edge, but let's talk about that right there. That just looks like
this one's tight. I like this.
Obviously, 1J swap, but we're talking about balling on a budget out here.
That one's in my list of cars. I love that thing. You know what else I really like, and I'm surprised you didn't pick it instead, Ron, is the Mighty Max.
Yeah,
I thought about number one, Brian.
I thought about it, but the Mighty Max is harder to find, and you just need to do way more to it to make it fast. The reason I chose these is because it has a KA24 already. Like, crazy easy to get a cheap turbo kit. Like, you could be in a really fast drift or even grip car for like, dude, easily sub $5,000.
You're not building a grip car out of a Nissan hardbody.
I want to see it. I want to see it. Yes, you are. Put some sandbags in the back. Whatever. Put your fuel cell.
I think grip trucks is a new thing. We should build grip trucks this year.
Yo, so my buddy bought a NASCAR truck, like whatever series they are.
Yeah.
The like NASCAR truck, he bought a retired one, and it's faster than his R34 GTR race car around Buttonwillow.
Isn't that what Cletus has too? Doesn't he have like a retired NASCAR truck?
I don't know.
Yeah, the number 3.
It's cheap these days, man.
Oh man, someone just Michael Johnson just called out the disco potato. That was the turbo to have.
GT28 RS.
Wow.
Yeah, GT28 RS, man.
So, Ron, just because we're talking about trucks, can you please share that hill climb truck?
Oh, yeah.
Legend. I know you got that photo somewhere in your library of car porn. Can you please pop that bad boy up? Because I know you and I have talked about it before.
Just talking about grip
Topic.
cut.
It's off topic. We're tangenting on tangents right now.
Let's.
But boom, there it is.
Oh,
Oh, so hard.
Man, hill climb GMC Jimmy. Look at that thing. Oh God.
I'm into it, man. That was my brother's first car, and I've always wanted to build like that was like what we went road tripping everywhere at the Ride BMX. So I've always wanted to build like a slam, that body style like '91 Blazer 2-wheel drive.
All right.
under full
Let's,
squat, lift an inside tire too.
Let's
Lift an inside tire.
Dog piston's the best look for a car, man. Just getting that one wheel up.
Yeah. And you could tell. Look at this little section right here. You could tell he parties. He had a little something going on right there.
But he's got the blue tape on the headlights to make sure it's stationary. You know,
Classic track car move. But I love it when it's not electrical tape. Like he's being economic. He's even got it on the turn signals down here.
It's just one piece.
By the way, right now,
That's true.
that's going crazy on Cyclone, Typhoon, Lightning.
Mhm.
Yeah, those are sick. They're
That's-
expensive.
Yeah,
That's a
those
whole
are
conversation.
super expensive.
Are we ready for Ron's number one?
I'm ready.
It's not in any kind of order, but yeah. Let's
As of right now, temporary.
as of right now.
Can be changed. Ron's number one. Very respectable. Very respectable number one, Ron.
Is it a Dodge Stratus?
Does anybody want to take a guess? Should we do
Dodge
a guess right
Stratus.
now?
No way.
Chat, you want to take a minute to chat, do a guess? This is something that I could totally see being a great time attack car. And I've seen these in multiple forms of road racing, from even Global Time Attack to your local grassroots, SCCA, National Auto Sports. This car is a very infamous car, currently and still to this day. 3000 GT. We talked about the FCRX7, maybe Cobalt. Solid. IS300, Fox Body, Mitsubishi Colt, Evo, Neon, Miata, Stealth, Civic 95 hatch. All right, guys, here we go.
Nobody's guessed it.
Nobody's guessed it yet. And I can't believe it when they're saying to slap themselves in the face. Ron's number one for right now, the Acura RSX.
I wasn't expecting that.
No,
Okay.
because I thought about it the other day because I've wanted to build a rally car, front wheel drive rally car, cheap, easy to replace, blah, blah, blah. And I thought Integra, but it would have to be a K20 swap Integra. And I thought RSX has already come with a K20 and a 6-speed, and they're still pretty light.
Yo, I
and
like
they're
that.
cheap.
Well,
So I
isn't
started
the
looking at it.
RSX the
Yo,
What
the
came
chat
after
is
the
so
GT
confused
Integra?
right now. You don't even know what to say.
Yo, we should get Nads on the phone. You know, Nads had like a crazy built in RSX.
He had like a full time
Fire
attack
up
RSX.
right now. I mean, this is number one position for Ron right now. That's your number one car.
No, that's not my number. Well, actually, no, it's not. It's not my number one.
Live with it. It's number one.
All right, it's number one for now. Because you know what? Out of everything here, if you were to take any one of these cars to Button Willow and put just like $4 or $5 grand into them, the RSX would mop up
So,
Mop.
the floor.
so let's do this. Let's revisit Ven's picks real quick. Let's revisit Ven's picks. So we'll visit Ven's gladiator choices, his warriors that he's bringing to the 5-car battle royale.
I wish I knew this was going to be a competition.
This is a battle royale, Ven. I can't believe you didn't have
I would
boxing
have came
gloves
out
on
a
for
little bit
this.
stronger.
It's a competition. Just get used to it, Vin.
Here we go. So here's Ven's number 5. Bentley Continental GT.
For everyone tuning in a bit late here, there's a couple of Continental GTs up for sale for around $3,000.
No,
So
there's not.
All right.
they're getting there, though. You give it another like
For everyone who has just tuned in, because a lot more people tuned in than we started the show, this is a podcast that we were going to do called Good Cop, Bad Cop, and we're kind of piloting it today. And the idea is we talk about the best cars you can find for something under a certain price tag, for a certain discipline, for whatever that is. And then we go to Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, eBay, OfferUp to try to actually find that those cars exist. And then we decide good cop, bad cop. Right now, we are still in the early phase of the show. We're just talking about the cars we picked. We're an hour in at this moment, and we haven't even gotten to my list.
Oh
yet.
my God.
We're moving on.
Brian's list is going to be entirely bad cops because they're all going to be crazy Brian idea cars. It's like we know it's just going to be like next.
All of Brian
I like Nova. It was a bad cop. It just happened to be that other people started to like Novas after I bought mine. When I bought my 911, I think Ron told me I should have bought an Evo instead. So like all my cars start as bad cops. I'm just saying.
Vin, correct me if I'm wrong, but I can almost guarantee you that every car on Brian's list he chose because he wants to argue for it. It's something that everybody else.
There's actually cars on the list I picked that I don't even like.
Well, here's the thing: is between Scotto and Ron, you guys submitted maybe 5, 6 cars. Scotto submitted like 8 or 9, so he has 8 or 9 that he has to filter down to a top 5.
Scotto tries to be so alpha that he overachieves on being asked what his top 5 are.
All right, hold on. Going back to Vince's top 5: Bentley Continental GT, the SN95, DC2 Integra, Mazda Miata, BMW E36, definitely a tough stack. Now we just finished up with Ron Cars, Taco Bell Ron, 5th place, Mitsubishi Eclipse, which Ron brought some heavy firing power with that hill climb Eclipse, which was mega sick. Subaru GC8, the BMW E46 330i, very specific choice. Then we just went off on the Nissan Hardbody, which I think that's something we almost all came to agreement on. That is a very solid choice. And then as of right now, Ron's pick, top of the leaderboard, is his Acura RSX.
All right, let's get after
it. Are we digging into Scotto's right now?
Wait, someone goes,
there's a numbered list first.
Someone goes, why are these guys so ignorant?
Why are they so what?
Michael Donnelly says, oh no, hold on. Michael Donnelly says, I'm just trying to trigger the internet. I already lost it, but someone says, why are these guys so ignorant?
All right, let's get after it.
All right, Scotto's ready to jump into this right here. So I don't know how to populate Scotto's. I'm going to pop up the top 3 that were presented to me in a way that they were just on the list. So I'm going to populate the first one that was on the list. It's not in any category right now as the top 5, but we're going to bring up the first pick for Scotto, and it is going to be Corvette C4.
Oh, God, I'm going to go use the bathroom. That's the worst pick ever.
Yo, it's a V8, and you can find them.
I'm putting my out of office up. Just
first off, it's a V8. It was actually raced, and you can find them for like $1,500.
It's
we're getting a lot of fight between Vin and Ron on the Scotto.
I mean,
Vin left. Vin just straight up left.
But I couldn't find any for less than for less than $5,000. You can find C4.
Oh, really?
Yo, you can find C4's manual for like $2,000.
Didn't they have something insane like a cross-flow head, which is impossible to tune?
Yeah.
And like OptiSpark. Oh, they have the OptiSpark.
OptiSpark. And I helped Kyle fix his OptiSpark, and I thought to myself, note to self, don't ever buy a C4. Because it was such a pain in the ass.
Dude, OptiSpark is crazy. Doesn't it fire with like mirrors and lasers and shit?
Yo, I don't know. It's wild.
I have no idea how it works.
It's impossible to get to, and I don't know. It's just crazy. But I feel like it's on the list. I didn't say it's on the top list. I think it's just something you should consider. I don't like Corvettes except for the C6 Z06. Actually, that's not true because I like Stingrays, but they're like not because they're like good driving cars. But I don't know. I think the C4 could be interesting.
V8, cheap, and that's the
it.
criteria.
That's
cheap,
There's nothing
and a
else
V8.
redeeming. I'll give it to you. They do look cool. Like when I was growing up, like a Callaway C4 or like the Lingenfelter C4, like
yeah,
they could be cool. Like there were some like bootleg Testarossa kits for them.
I do like the OptiSpark with laser beams and mirrors, Ron. Though, if I could get a C4 and put that on,
that has to be.
That has to be in.
I'll share a little bit here.
Okay.
I mean, like.
Oh, that livery, that black, teal, and pink livery he's got going on right there.
Yo, I'm into that car, man. That thing looks cool. Are those motives on there?
It kind of looks like it actually. I'll be honest.
That's a little spicy right there.
Poorly fitting front.
Oh, look, Corvette guys are not the staple of wheel fitment.
All right, let's move on. We don't
All
need to spend
right.
too much time here.
There's no way you could still
just
be talking about the C4 Corvette.
It's understanding the mindset of the choice of the C4. That's what we were digging into.
Did we get past it? 'Cause I don't
yes,
want to be
we're passing it right now. We're passing it right now. Here's another one that was on the board.
You guys didn't hear my stream, right?
By the way, me talking about the C4 vet didn't make a strong argument that I'm not boomer. So everyone just a reminder, Gen X, we are not boomers. Gen X is like, and I'm at the end of Gen X. I'm like 2 years from being a millennial.
You're a Zennial.
No, I'm not. Oh, I guess that is the Z-Jet. Or like, yeah, they
I don't know, Zennial with an X.
I know. It's
So
weird.
here's another one. Once again, I'm impressed by this pick, Scotto. And I can't believe these other two guys did not get it. And I'm going to pop it up on the board right now. Very impressive. Coming from Scotto. Car junkie, car nerd. One of his picks, Honda CRX.
Yeah, I didn't know how. I couldn't. I was surprised Ron didn't pick that. It's so lightweight. I actually autocrossed one, and I was never a Honda guy, right? So I grew up Volkswagen kid. Kind of like learned to hate Hondas, which as I got older I realized was stupid. But as a VW kid, you just think VW is the best thing ever. And then I got to drive a CRX at an autocross competition. I was blown away, like how good of a handling car it is, how much fun it is, and it doesn't need much. So yeah, Honda CRX is strong. And I think Nads would agree with me on the CRX.
And I will agree with you that the sickest looking Honda of that era was the second gen CRX. Like, they're so small. They weigh like 2,100 pounds or less. They weigh nothing.
Mhm.
They're so
The
cool.
CRX actually contributed to me getting into cars. Like, my buddy had one, and we would use it to go like ride BMX and stuff. And I would drive it all the time before I had my license, and it was like so much fun just to beat the hell out of. And I was like, "Yep, I'm gonna get a stick shift car for my first car."
Absolutely.
The CRX is a blast.
Yeah.
You remember True Life? I'm a Street Racer? There was a CRX on there, all motor, ITBs.
I
That
do
thing
remember
was sick.
that.
True Life on the street
That was
race.
on MTV. Those guys were like,
Yeah. I saw a Vice article where someone went back and re-interviewed that guy and pulled up his Instagram, and he's got like, I'm gonna sound so elitist right now. He's only got like 2,000 followers, and
What a loser!
no, but his claim to fame, he still claims that dude from True Life, I'm a Street Racer. To this
Sick.
day, I'm like, that was like 25 years ago.
Have you ever known anyone to be on MTV Cribs?
I know someone that was on True Life.
I knew a lot of people who were on MTV
Oh.
Cribs because I worked in hip hop. That was like all that was. But yeah,
No, sorry. I wasn't thinking MTV Cribs. I was thinking Room Raiders. Remember that show?
Dude, Room Raiders was that was something. When they brought the blacklight out,
No.
Oh, dude.
Yes.
dude, the blacklight game. Dude,
Corey, what would your office look like with the black light?
Oh,
right
dude,
now?
it would be. I wouldn't let people in. They would have to come in like it's a COVID-19 raid, in a full suit and a gas mask.
Hazmat suit.
Yeah, dude. So, hold on. All right, hold on. Back to Scotto's picks. Corvette C4, Honda CRX. No more black light. And by the way, the C4. You don't want to hit the C4 with the black light either. That'd probably be a scary sight.
No way.
Cut-
The C4's got
Hold on
cocaine.
one
and
second.
C4 all
Before
over it.
we
We know
leave
it.
the CRX, I just got a good video. I got a good video lined up. Let's just watch this one real quick. All right,
Where am I watching it?
you guys
Scott?
seeing that?
Yeah.
Oh,
dude. Oh, buddy. Yeah, man.
It's just unbelievable this car when you see it in flight. 129
I love the single post wing.
Can you get the time of mixing lap? A 127.4 is a huge ask for the Mighty Mouse with a
Look at
26
that front splitter.
hands on downwards. The first appearance in the Super
Okay.
and that is commitment through turn one. Maximum faith in the whole setup there.
that thing is gnarly.
Also, I love the Sydney
Bounces on the track, even with all that downforce.
dude because it's got so much downforce. But it's I love that turn one at Sydney Motorsport Park is a no braking turn. It's just like a flat out turn one.
That thing is so cool. And this goes to a whole thing. It's a conversation Scotto and I have had about Scotto is a very large man that enjoys very small cars.
Yeah, I am. I'm that guy. I'm like Shaq. Shaq only dates small women. It's kind of the same thing. Anyway, moving on.
All right,
Next one.
back to Scotto. Adding this other one to the list, as expected. Dropping in as one of the top 8 for Scotto.
Hold on, wait. Can I pop up a picture of Scotto real quick?
Yeah,
Go.
please. I kind of unveiled it already, but pop the picture up and I'll re-pop it up again.
Damn it! My internet, it's not working out, guys.
All right, get a next car. Once again, on Scotto's top 8, just like MySpace, we have the Fox Body Mustang.
Can't find him.
That's not true. You can find them. They're just really crappy. You can definitely find them. Let's find one right now. Let's find
Okay,
one.
while you find that, I found this pic of you.
Man, I can't stop thinking about that CRX with the single post wing. Single post wing, and if you had the front windshield wiper to center conversion.
All the
Super nerd stuff.
symmetry.
But yeah, Fox body, I don't know, man.
I think the only argument because they are hard to find. They're rough around that.
Staten Island Craigslist, Brian?
I mean, where else are you going to find a really good Fox body? So,
I know that it's completely off topic, but thinking about Staten Island made me think about the guy from Tiger King. Do you think he really dresses like that in real life?
Oh, 100%.
all right. So here's a Fox body I found, right? But I'm gonna warn you, this dude's scamming. All right. So let's get into this real quick. Here we go. I saw this last night and I was like, damn, I cannot believe that's $2,500.
No.
Boom.
Come on, Brian. You're better than this.
This is a classic.
You're better than this, Brian.
Classic Craigslist scam because you show this photo, but this is actually what's for sale. That's what's for sale.
Oh.
So this is what you can get for $2,500. This is what you're looking at. It ain't pretty.
No. But you did mention earlier the rule is you have an X budget to put in. So would you be able?
It is manual transmission and it's got a 5.0 in it. So you could buy it. You could
Yeah.
still buy this. And
You know what I oddly got into a little while ago? Was the Capri, the Ford Capri, which was 100% just a Fox body with a different face and different taillights.
Well, the thing I like a lot is the Fairmont, which is like pre-Fox body but built on the Fox body chassis. And
Oh,
you
interesting.
can go to Fairmonts for like $1,000 and then go buy like a crashed Fox body and swap everything over into it, which is a good setup.
It's crazy. I'm looking for Mustang Fox bodies in New York right now, and there's not a single decent looking one for under $6,000.
Yeah, look, Fox bodies, I think 3 years ago, even when we were doing Scumbag Labs, we were trying to buy a Fox body, and you could still find manual 5-speeds for like $1,500. I feel like in just 1 year, they've already skyrocketed. Like, that's a car that if you could find a nice, clean one, that's going to be worth a lot, I think, in the next 3 or 4 years. That and G bodies right now, I think, are those cars that are just going to.
Oh, dude, G body's 100%. Hold on, are we on some screen share real quick?
Yeah,
Take it,
man,
Ron.
Let me just pop. This is my little inspiration folder from a while back with.
you bust out the DTM Fox body
You know it's gonna happen.
because that's where I became a Fox body lover. Wait, we're loading. Your photos are loading right now. It's like playing Turbo.
Everybody in my building
Enhance.
is probably on Zoom conference right now. Do you see it?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, I
so
think it's tight.
And I said Ford Capri. I had a slip earlier, but someone's right.
Mercury.
In the UK, it is a Ford Capri, but here it was a Mercury. But anyway, dude, Capris. Look at that. Look at those like updated louvered taillights. Like, oh, I don't know, man. That looks pretty damn good to me.
I'm into it.
Yeah.
The Ford Capris, you can actually find like Gen 2 Capris, whatever. Oh, there you go. That's where it's at.
Yeah. Look at that.
Yo,
I
this
can
kid-
deal with this.
This kid I used to work with had a Capri, and this thing is tight as shit.
Yeah, man.
I feel like we need to get Ron Baugh on right now to talk about Fox bodies. We'll move forward because I think the Fox body is going to be a car that we're going to.
That's an ASC McLaren Capri.
But Ron Baugh and I have actually me, you, and Ron, right? So Ron Baugh and Ron Carr. Ron Baugh, for you guys who don't know, he's the one that owns that white. What would you call that style? I'm blanking on it.
He calls it Project Kitsune, so it's like a Japanese-inspired American model.
Yeah, it's got a little Bosozoku influence in there with the front, with the cooler out front and everything.
All right, so let's get
All right.
after it.
Scotto. All right. So far,
We're not even on the list yet.
CRX, Fox Body, Corvette C4, and then the next one on the list, boys, the Mitsubishi Starion.
Yeah, man.
Can you get those?
Oh yeah, I have one that I've been watching. So let me bring that one up real quick. But I mean, Starion, I mean, like, that's the early DSM, right? So for you guys who don't remember, DSM was the Diamond Star Motor Group, which was like Chrysler, Dodge, and Mitsubishi. So you've got like the Chrysler Conquest, the Mitsubishi Starion. But I think the first thing we should watch is this one particular Chrysler Conquest. You guys should all know John Lazorak's car. this thing is probably the nicest Starion Conquest ever built. So let's just check this out. This was from the old Donut Garage days. So here we go.
I love the pronunciation, by the way, Starion.
Yeah, that's a lot. Oh my god. That's quiet. That's quiet.
That thing's aggressive too.
Alright. It's really good to you can hear, yeah, it stops. Yeah. Man, that's pretty choppy there, my friend. Yeah. You think you can throw some donies here? I think so. See. Alright, cool.
Hanzo saying this is one of his favorite DTs. Scotto, were you saying this was one of the first cars you drifted or in Astarion?
I'm sorry, what were you saying?
I was gonna say, was the Starion one of the first cars that you did donuts or drift in?
First car I ever did a donut in.
The Starion.
I was 17, and a buddy of mine bought he had like 3 Conquests, and he bought like 3 of them. They were each like $600 a piece, and he pieced them all together to build one running car. And it's the first car that I ever did a donut in. Yeah, so there's a connection with that car. I just think it looks cool. Box fenders, like the flared look, like it just has that like quintessential 80s kind of street race car kind of vibe to it. Some of the comments were like, this one has an LS in it. I would keep the 4G63. I love that motor. I think that'd be cool. Just kind of keep that in there or upgrade to a newer version. So this was the first one, Ron, or there was some Japanese cars that had the 4G63 architecture first?
I want to say it was either this or the Galant that had the 4G architecture first. I forget what the exact one is. This one doesn't have.
I think this was the first one in the U.S. and it's not, but it's a turbo. It's the turbo 4G63, but it's different than obviously it evolved over the years, but it's the same one. So, and if you guys remember,
for sure,
DC Magazine, we did a top 60 cars of all time, and one of the cars was the Starion. I think it was in the first issue. So, anyway, love that thing.
Next one on the list. You ready for that, Scotto? Or what do you got, Ron? You got some more heat?
I'm sorry. I
got some heat.
Very, very important things to show in relation to the Starion. First and foremost, I want to talk about one of my favorite features of it is the fact that the steering wheel looks like the Star Wars intro.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yo.
Isn't that insane?
Ron, you gotta pass the screen because I got a vehicle right now we could go by right now. Let's talk about it. Hold on. Someone else might buy it first.
For those who don't know,
WRC, yeah.
Big supporter.
The Starion that never actually ended up.
The Starion Lego car.
Dude, that I would push all day, no matter what. Sell everything else. Done. Donezo.
So that was the Group B prototype of the Starion that never actually happened. So let me grab this screen real quick. Did you release? There we go. All right. So before Vinny was saying you can't find a Starion for that cheap. Here we go. $3,500. This thing is pretty rad. I've been looking at it for a little bit. The outside's a little rough. It could use some paint, but wait till we get to the interior. So this is a Conquest, same thing as a Starion, just Plymouth's version of it. The seatbelts say turbo on them. I don't know if you can capture that.
And they're connected to the door.
Yeah, which is so rad. But look at this interior. I mean, maybe not, maybe a little bit of a waste of as a.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, that's pretty much what you want. A red car.
Oh, wait, is that a single cam 4G63?
Yeah, it's the early.
Yeah, I forget what the actual.
So is
name
it a 4G63 or is it like a 4G62?
It's the same type of block, but it's like a 4. I don't know. It's the.
We actually did a story in 0 to 60 magazine about that engine and how it progressed. So maybe we take a break. I'll go find that and I can read you guys the facts.
Let me tell you something.
The MagnaFlow.
Look at that.
So go back one photo because you can see how terrible this car looks in the picture. Imagine that it looks about 487 times worse in person.
At least.
Hey.
That's the beauty shot.
I mean, good job.
Yeah, that was cleaned up, and he was like, "That's the one."
the interior. Good cop.
Yo, look at the shift boot.
Look, good cop for
Keep
the
that shift boot.
Honestly, though, the interior, as clean as it is, exterior, you could repaint whatever. Good cop. I'm going to call good
Good
cop.
cop?
on this one. I might even hit this dude up.
We're not even in the good cop, bad cop yet, but while I have it on screen, chat, jump in right now. You think this cop?
Oh, look at that dash.
No, it's not even cracked, even though he hasn't shown the left side of it, which makes me question that the left side might be cracked.
It's got an F mic, so that's cool.
I also-
instant cool in my books.
What we're doing is Craigslist suicide. We're posting the Craigslist ad, which these are all probably going to be bought by the end of the episode.
I know. I'm kind of.
All right, this is like.
Word out the contact on it or something. Here's the part too. It's been in his family since 1998. So.
It's a heirloom.
Dude,
No trade.
Scotto, chat is going off, and I have not seen one bad cop yet on this particular model. This is a.
It's a good cop. It's a good cop car.
You got chat on your side.
And I've seen these with new generation 4G63, 4G64s in them, and they're just rippers. It's such a rad car. So, all right.
All right.
I've got a 4G63 to go into something right now.
You got something to share, Ron?
No,
All
I'm
right.
saying I have a 4G63
Oh,
in
yeah.
the garage
Yep.
waiting to go into something. That thing looks prime.
All right, next on the board. I'm not surprised.
4G63 into an E30. That'd be tight.
I'm not surprised on this one, boys. This next one that we're about to throw on the board here. Once again, strong competitor. Strong
Oh my
contender.
god, we're only on. Oh, the board hasn't updated.
No.
Oh my god, so the other ones weren't
Those,
even on
those
the
were just
top five?
those were the pregame
Oh my
leading
god,
up.
I'd be here forever.
It's just we have a little bit more time. Let's get through this. Here we go.
I gave my rules.
This is
Scotto's top 5.
this is Scotto's MySpace. This is what his top 8 look like. All right, here we go.
Going to 8 p.m.
Not
I
expected
feel
this
like
one.
Scotto's top 8 on MySpace would have been the flexiest top 8. Like he would have had
Oh.
like the most relevant hip hop artists
Mhm.
on there.
Flexi
Like, yeah, you know, Funk Flex and whatever, DMX on my top 8.
Here it
Really
is. Number 4, top 8, Scotto's MySpace list, dropping it heavy. Expected this one, strong competitor. We got the Porsche 944.
You can find the dirt cheap. You can find, and they're still running. So Vinny's making that look. Vinny's making the look. So
This is just going to be a painful top 5 or 8 or whatever we're going to do. How many ones? It's like, what's tied for 1? Is there like 6 tied for the first one?
So when little history, when the 944 first came out, Porsche actually released the car.
Wow, again with the history lesson.
Hold on. Because the 911 at that time felt really old, and they wanted to release something new. They had like the same, shape of the 911 for years. So when the 944 came out, every review was that the 944 was a better handling car than the 911. It is a 50-50 weight balance. It is a perfect driver's car. The only problem is the engines aren't great in them, but you can put a junkyard LS in one for real cheap, and people have done them for years. And it's actually only like 45 pounds heavier if you actually run an LS1 than the original setup, so you don't throw the weight off. So you still have the 50-50 weight balance, and they're in junkyards everywhere, so you can find parts for them everywhere.
Ryan, do you low-key have some sort of affinity for the FC RX-7? Because so far,
Well, I
you
do.
have the 944
Just triggered.
and you
I
have the
was about to-
Starion, which are arguably carbon copies of the FC RX-7. I mean, they're all the same car.
I love the FCRX7, and I like the FT2. They're like 2 of my favorite Japanese cars. I get Hurt shit about it all the time, but I love the FC. So, and I think that there's some things and I'm only saying this because Hurt's not currently on the chat, or not currently on stream, is that I actually think that in some ways Mazda fixed some things with the 944 on the FC visually. Like some things just look better, but they're both great cars. That's why I like the Pandem kit FC.
Hold up.
Yep.
Someone in the chat is like, there are no 944s out there that are that price, Scotto, listing or BS. What people don't realize is that Scotto not only looks for cars that don't run, but he wants a car that doesn't run. So he wants to buy.
Hold on. I'll pull it up right now because I've got a 944 turbo with the head off of it, but it's still a complete car.
The other thing that I love about chat right now is chat is
Scotto statement ever.
Also, Brendan Fitzpatrick, the FC is actually a copy of the 944. You are correct that it was Japan's copy of it. So, and it's something that they have admitted that they looked at that as inspiration. So, that's
Also,
why I like the FC. Yeah, I'm gonna find that for Matt Viramontes. Sorry if I butchered your name, but I'm trying to give you a shout out. I'm gonna find that for you.
Well, I was gonna say Timothy Arnold in chat says I'll sell you my 944 for $2,500. If you guys haven't seen this, our chat has now turned into like a text Craigslist of people pawning off whatever they have sitting in their driveway to us.
That's the real reason we're doing this, all right?
Yeah, hey, let's take this moment to discuss to the chat. Hey, if anyone out there has a 635 CSI or a pre-74 BMW 2002, go ahead and shoot me a DM.
Oh,
Buy one cheap.
Boom. 3 minutes later, $2,500. This is actually a 944 and 951, which is what Ashley's car is. This has the better brakes, comes with phone dials, has the better suspension setup. It's got the better bumper because it doesn't have the ugly American bumper on it.
I like that it says it would be a good parts car. That's in the description. They say that this is hardly a car. It is good for parts.
Look, it has coilovers.
Go back to the engine bay. Go back to the engine bay. Go back to the engine. It doesn't have a dashboard.
You don't need a dash.
It doesn't have a dashboard.
Oh my god.
Dash for a
It doesn't have a dash.
Hey,
What's the cylinder head?
Soupy, fix it. They'll make a folded piece of aluminum. I'll put a tack in it. It's all you need. Run a race dash. We're good.
It's not a car. That's hardly a car. That's a spirit.
Scotto is the only person that sees the words parts car and takes it as a challenge.
Yeah,
Could be used for parts. Yeah, watch me.
But that being said,
I'll be the judge of that.
This is the
Say I won't. Say I won't.
This is the rarest
Back.
44s right now. This is the rarest of them all because it's a turbo. Like you're not gonna find you can find non-turbos for $1,200 all day long. So,
I can't wait to know you when you're 65 and you live in the desert and you have like 87 cars with stories attached to them of how one day you're gonna finish them. And that car will be part of it.
I'm just searching 944 right now on Craigslist just to see what we get here. So
Yo, wait, check out that second listing for $175. That's a great
Whoa.
base of a project.
boom, $786.
Go back, look at that wheel, that red wheel, Brian. That's the start of a project car, right
there.
That's
Is that
$175 for a
actually
944. Needs most of the other things, but it's there.
I mean, look, I will admit 944s are going up, but if you search, you can still find cheap ones.
Wait, go up. What was that convertible thing?
968.
No, go down.
Ooh.
Go down. Not that. It looked like a Lincoln of some sort or an Impala.
There's a turnkey race car for
What is that?
$7,500.
Oh, $33,000. Never mind.
Damn, Target.
Oh shit, that's actually a decent.
Oh,
looking
look at that C4. That's actually
Looks kind of clean.
all right.
Yo, what?
It's 10 G's though. LT1 with the 6-speed, pretty clean.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Not for 10 G's though.
No.
It looks nice though.
Dude, how quickly Scotto's navigating Craigslist is like a captain flying a ship that's been a veteran for years.
So honestly, I
Muscle
run
memory.
this like stockbrokers follow stocks. Like I'm just sitting here, I got my penny stocks. I'm
Dude.
watching what's going up, what's going down. So
Buy.
The fluidity of the mouse going from
only
search
buy,
to
by the
region.
way.
all right, let's go.
All right, here we go. All right.
Let's get
So we got the
hot.
Porsche 944 next. Once again, this is we've seen it before. We'll see it
Do I
again.
have to brace myself? Should I sit down?
No.
more?
It's the Subaru GC8
Again?
again.
It's on my list too.
It's
All
a
right,
strong
move on.
choice.
All right.
It's a strong choice.
Since we talked about that one, do you want to move to the next one, Scotto?
Yeah, let's just
All
go.
right, boom. Let's go to the next one. Haven't seen this one on the board yet. Here we go. Dropping a hot and heavy Mini Cooper.
No, it was the Merkur XR4 Ti.
Hold on. Let me- hold on.
But the
Damn, Scott, I was so disappointed in you.
Hold on.
it was still somewhere on the list.
This is not a final, okay?
Oh, okay, all right. No, I'm sorry. Number one was the Merkur XR4 Ti. I'm sorry. I thought we were out of place here. The Mini Cooper, I don't actually like the car. I visually don't like it very much, but I drove it a lot as a journalist, and it actually handles really, really well. And you can buy them for $2,000 all day. It's just like it's a good front wheel drive car that actually handles really well.
So
like
let's
Ron's
talk
right.
about
I'm
Mercury
arguing
XR4 Ti.
cars I don't think it's cool just because I enjoy the argument. But I've driven the shit out of Mini Coopers, and they handle really well.
You know, honestly, Scotto, I'm surprised.
Wait, so that was actually on the list?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was. It was.
Yeah.
It was.
I'm surprised that you choose that over an RX-8.
Oh, so you know what? The RX-8 was also on my short list. Yo, Vinny, have you driven an RX-8 that runs well?
No, but I do like that they revved to almost 10,000.
Car for like 4 years in a row, and for good reason. Ron, you've driven RX-8s when we were at 0 to 60. They are phenomenal handling cars. I've driven FCs and FDs, and the RX-8 is a better handling car than both of those platforms.
Oh, 100%.
It's just
They handle phenomenal.
That the second door thing that they did, like that, if they didn't do that, it would have been such a better car. The Mazda Speed RX-8 is a fantastic car. I've driven that on track. I think at like Putnam. It's a great car. Really, really good. So I don't know.
Wait, did you mention which Gen Mini Cooper you're talking about?
What?
Which Gen Mini Cooper?
Whatever, like the first gen or whatever that was.
No, first gen was like 1901. Like,
No, I mean the first gen we had, like
The newer body style.
newer body style. Yeah. Not the little ones.
Yo, the funny part about that is my brother had one for like one day as a daily, and then he found out that a common problem for those Mini Coopers are that when you shut it off, like you can go in your house and the power steering pump will turn on. It's electric. It'll turn on and catch fire. So you'll be like inside eating dinner and your car will just randomly catch fire.
That being said, and it's really hard to find those power steering pumps in junkyards because a lot of guys use them for electric power steering conversion on other cars.
Yeah, I asked about what power steering pump I could use on the S14, and someone was like Mini Cooper. I was like, nah.
I know.
I've heard bad things.
I was looking at them for the Audi for the same reason, and I found the same thread that they like catch fire and stuff. So, but no,
Someone said they're called an R50 or R53. Thanks for that, Marcus.
thank you. Yeah, but I don't know. I think it's like the unexpected. Obviously, a Volkswagen Golf would be another good option, but the Mini's actually a better sized car. It's just like a smaller. It's a better footprint. It's hard to find like good, reliable Mark IIIs that haven't been just completely shit on. I feel like I've been looking. My other option happens to be a Mark III GTI. Vinny's just like
Andrew Canton asked, "Hey Scotto, you want to buy my dad's 1994 Buick LeSabre?"
Not running.
Yeah, just drop it off at the shop, 621 Golden Avenue. Put it on the side.
This is where Scotto says no, and he's also DMing the guy at the same exact time.
by the way,
Got pics.
people are also hitting me up being like, "Yo, just threw a link for you in Discord." Like, I appreciate the chat on this.
Dude, honestly, the next time I'm looking for a car.
Another car out there. I'm gonna throw another car out there right now.
No, you already have 8 on your top 5. You can't throw another one on there.
I'm gonna throw another car out there.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw another car out there real quick. That is in the like, it's in the. I don't think I ever wanted to own one. And they maybe have like a little bit of a stigma around them.
Wow, if you say that, this has got to be bad.
Scotto didn't sleep last night, guys.
But at the same time, I kind of think that that it would be cool. And I had one that I found. Let me see if I can find it.
It better be a Volvo 240.
No, and I'm actually surprised that there were no 240s on the list. I was so expecting Ron to put one on the list.
Mhm.
The chat's been mentioning them all day. All day. The chat's been saying Volvo.
Kind of blacked out. That would be my number one by far.
So, first off, I know that these ones are like, this car to me was a car that just was really important at the time. And this isn't the Stigma car, but it's basically the same drivetrain. So that's similar enough. It's a little bit different. But you can also get these right now. I'm gonna pull it up, and of course, boom.
Oh no, this is the most biggest piece of garbage ever.
Oh,
It is all the electronics so bad, but it's still
No.
a good driving car.
No, you know why that's a bad cop? Because it's $1,500 and $7,000 to get it to run terribly and still have a check engine light.
You hate 180s, don't you?
I just think that it's the worst. And I really, really, really like B5s. I think the B5 chassis is one of the most timeless Audis they've
So
made. Like, I think it still
what
looks
I would
beautiful.
do. Here's what I would do with this car: is I would buy this for $1,500.
hmm
I would use the other $1,000 to buy a VR6, and I would do a VR6 Turbo A4.
Because I think the B5 chassis is really cool.
It handles really well. I mean, yo, let's quickly bring up some. What do I bring up? Some BTCC racing.
That's-
of the B4.
hold on. Did you just say that the B5 handles really well?
Yeah.
Dude. Okay.
I mean, maybe
Way back-
compared
okay,
to
hold on. There was a B5 S4 in Soupy's shop back in the day, right? We could call Soupy on this, by the way, because I guarantee you he'll remember.
It bitch, it does.
This kid was dumping like thousands of dollars into caging it and all the suspension and everything. And he's like, I don't know why he's paying me. He's like, he's keeping the lights on, but I have no idea why you.
Okay, so
That's a total Soupy project. Like I didn't really know Soupy back in the day because I was just like a little Grom. And but he like whenever I went to C&M, there was always like some wackadoo car that like those guys were putting together like that, like a single turbo B5 S4 or something.
So let's do this. Let's finish this list.
Yep.
And then
Hold on. Someone said wow. Someone said Crown Vic. I'm surprised no one.
Yeah.
Crown.
You know, I'll be honest. Like, I love the Crown Vic, but it's like really plush, but it's also really numb. I feel like you can't feel that car at all. Like for a fun track day car,
Yeah.
I mean, you and I have driven it at speed on a track, and it's just super numb.
That was Ron too. Ron did the folk race.
They're a proven race car. I mean, I may or may not have taken the Utah Championship. I'm kind of bummed I'm not doing the Cletus 500.
Ron, don't be so goddamn modest. Let's be honest. Ron was faster than Ken Block in a folk race with Crown Vics.
And also,
No.
also a folk race in Sweden, right?
Yeah, that was.
Oh,
the
shit, am I wrong?
Look, we're not going to talk about what happened in Sweden.
Being so
What
modest,
happened
Ron.
here and there. Ed might be watching. We're not going to talk about the time that I might have beat him on a track.
Ken at his keyboard right now, just smashing keys off.
Oh, dude, I'm getting a phone call. I'm getting a
Hold on
phone
a second,
call.
Ron. Jefta is joining the chat.
I'd like to have a word with you.
All right.
All right.
Someone said Datsun 510, hands down. You're not getting a Datsun 510 for anywhere near anything.
Yeah,
I don't
maybe a
understand
steering wheel.
that cheap. So let's go to the last car.
Our last one in chat. I need you to
Our
pretend.
last one, tied for number one, these 7 cars.
And chat, I need you to pretend like you didn't see this one. So like type get wrecked and yo and act all excited in chat real quick, like you never seen this. Scotto's number one for right now. The Merkur XR4 Ti, chat. Oh, boom! Fireworks. Nobody saw that coming.
So for you guys in Europe, you know this better as the Ford Sierra. Here we got it as the XR4 Ti. It came with a 2.3 liter turbo engine, which was a turbo 4. Basically the same thing that came in like SVT. Was it SVT Mustangs or whatever? Those things you can do turbo upgrades to and make them rip. So that's the same motor that's in what's his face's Pinto from the first GT episode.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yo, I love the XR4 Ti. I don't know if I would ever buy one, but the red one that we have at the shop is awesome, and I'm so upset that it's going to shit just sitting outside. It needs some love.
There's so much history on the Sierra, that car, and like that was brought to the U.S. because it was actually brought to compete with BMWs, and Ford was afraid that if it was called a Ford, no one would like pay BMW money for it, so they launched a new brand called Merkur. And unfortunately, the whole thing kind of failed. But it's a great car. They are hard to find. But if you do find them, you can find them for like $1,500 to like $3,000. So that red one that we own was advertised for $1,500, and we paid him $5,000 for it.
You want to tell them the story behind that?
Yeah, it's because we needed it immediately because we needed the power steering rack out of it for Ken's Kazi. During filming, we broke the power steering rack and we needed it ASAP. And the guy was at work, and I was like, "Just leave work. I'll give you $2,000 for it." He's like, "Dude, I can't leave work. I get fired." I'm like, "What's your number to leave work?" And he was like, $5,000. And I was like, "Fine, come find me. We got $5,000."
It smelled blood in the water.
He drove it to set, realized that he was on the set for Gymkhana. As he was pulling in, it was like, "Oh my God, Ken Block!" And our team of technicians, who were all rally guys, just completely swarmed the car. He was still in it, and they already had it lifted up like it was coming into rally service, and was pulling the power steering rack out before I even signed the title for the car.
But the funny part about that was it was a Craigslist
the
deal,
cash over,
and
the rack was out.
Kanan, who was a PA at the time, he had called the guy, right? And the dude thought he was going to get robbed because where we filmed Gymkhana 10 was like sort of in the hood.
South Central LA.
So it wasn't in a necessarily good area. And when he called the guy, and the guy was like, "Yeah, I'm at work," he was like, "We'll give you $2,500, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000." The guy was like, "I'm not gonna come there because you're gonna kill me." So he had to take a picture of Ken Block's car and be like, "This is actually a production."
I didn't know that. That's great.
Yeah, the dude was like super shook about showing up because he was like, "This sounds like a horrible scam." Like,
All right, so let's do this, guys. Let's revisit the list real quick. We just dropped a poll in chat. Let's see who's winning the first stage here. We got who's
Right now, Ron is crushing the first stage.
all right. So let's go through the list just to remind everybody, because if we
Shout out
start
to
with
my
Vinny again, Bentley Continental GT, the SN95 Mustang, the DC2 Integra, Mazda Miata, BMW E36, Vin's list. Heading over to Ron's list once again, who's leading the board right now. Starting off number 5, Mitsubishi Eclipse. Number 4, Subaru GC8. Third, BMW E46 330i, Nissan Hardbody, and then coming in the number 1 contender for Ron is the Acura RSX. And then last but not least, the top 8 from Scotto. The 3 below, maybe, but Mitsubishi Starion, 944 Porsche, Subaru GC8.
If someone could put together a straw poll of all the cars, so instead of everyone's list, I think it'd be good to see what everyone thinks the best car is out of all the cars we picked. That would be a good poll to get going. Let's get that poll going. And do we want to bring anyone else into this fight right now? I think we should bring some guys who actually know about race cars. So I think we bring maybe Tim and Soupy and have them kind of critique our list right now. But before we do that, I just got one little quick thing I want to share. So while we're talking Sierras, let's just hold on one second. Let me redo that. All right, here we go. Let's go with, here we go. We got, you guys see this?
I'm gonna need a moment,
Dude.
We gotta build that thing.
That thing is just as sketchy on gas as it is on the brakes. Like, unbelievable how that car handles in all the spectrums.
That's the kind of car you drive on the pipe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like a 2-stroke.
Yo, Scotto getting targeted right now.
I know.
You gotta get those leggings going.
Anyway.
That is understeer nationals over there.
Yo, that car was banned from World Touring Car or whatever, from BTCC because it was too fast. I'm just saying. So
What's the rules with this competition again? $2,500 to buy the car and how much to spend to it?
By the way, what I love is it's a $2,500 car. You can put another $2,500 into it. And to fight our point, we are all sharing $1 million race cars.
I know. I'm like, that shift knob, you'd get a basically piece of shit 944 with a beautiful shift knob, and that's your budget right there if you were to get anything off that car.
By the way, a lot of people asking why I'm not using AdBlock. I don't use AdBlock because I support YouTubers. So just as a note out there, support YouTubers, don't use AdBlock. But anyway, another thing is if you ever want to argue why a car is cool, find the hill climb version of it and share it with your friends because it's always bad shit.
Ron actually proved that the Dodge Stratus was cool by showing the BTCC version of it.
Yo, the Stratus BTCC car was cool. Yo, what did Nigel run? Nigel Mansell ran the Ford Mondeo, right?
He ran the Mondeo. The Stratus was run in the U.S. Touring Car Championship, driven by one of the Donahue family.
Oh, really?
But driven by a Donahue, and that's enough for me.
Yo, there's a great video of Nigel Mansell racing the Mondeo in the rain. And we're going to save it for the end of the day today because you have to watch the whole thing because it's basically 20 laps where he crashes, goes to the back of the pack and then goes all the way back to the front.
Yeah.
It's just one of the greatest touring car things ever. We'll end the day with that. Anyway, let's keep going. Let's keep going.
And old Nige, always throwing it down.
So going back,
David Donahue, thank you.
Request for the Pikes Peak Mini Cooper. I'm gonna search that real quick because I feel like the Mini Cooper fell flat on people, and I get it. I don't even like that car, but I still put it on my list. Oh man!
and so going back to the list, Ron is still dominating the lead with a 49% of the poll. In the lead, 59 votes. Vin is in a close second right now. Actually, the numbers are moving as we speak. 41 votes in the Vin in second place, and then Scotto down at the bottom with a 19%, 23 total votes.
I like.
Let's call the Mini Cooper. The Mini Cooper's holding you back, man.
Yeah, I agree. You know what? Let's just.
I got a video that just came through via text from someone on Ken Block's team. Gary Kogas sent me a TDI rally car footage to go along with that. I'm interested to hear what a TDI Volkswagen Golf sounds like on it. I haven't watched it yet. Should we watch a clip?
Yeah, sure. Drop it on us.
It's only 40 seconds, so let's give it a. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm choosing a virtual background instead of sharing screen. Who knows?
You can't. There we go.
Oh, look at those taillights.
Is it that quiet? I mean, that's what the Audi Le Mans TDI sounded like. They just sounded like jets driving.
It doesn't sound that cool.
This is racing.
You hear it. That was the joke. All right, give it
Diesel
back.
just doesn't sound cool.
Give it back. Let me take
Huh?
Let me take the screen. I'm posting up something the chat asked me to post.
Is this the?
Wait, are you posting up videos to try and get more votes, Scotto? That's against the rules.
Yo.
He's selling the crew right now. This is your time to start. Jesus, that thing's loud.
You want to know what posting a Pikes Peak build version of your pick is equivalent to? Posting a 944 parts car as a real car. It's the same level.
By the way, I'm happy to lose this because I don't want people buying the cars I want, right? The problem is Ron's list overnight is going to go through the roof. I'm going to buy my cars now, and then 5 years from now, my cars will be worth a ton. No one thought OBS Fords were cool when I bought mine, and I sold it for double what I paid for it. So this is just the reality of life. I'm happy with that. It's okay. It's strong investments, people.
This is straight up market manipulation we got going on right here.
Mm-hmm. All right. Did we get up a poll of the best cars? Because that's the one I'm really interested in seeing, is what people think the best cars are.
I'm voting in that
Let's see if that is moving right now.
Is it weird that I'm in here voting for a car that's not on my list?
All right.
Wait, how did the NSX get in there?
I don't know. Someone threw the NSX in there. I think they meant
RSX.
Yeah. I think they meant RSX.
Yeah, I think the Bentley Continental is going to win.
Here we go. Best car. All right, boys, there's your chance. Vote for best car. Head in there. Select your favorite out of everybody's combined list. Scotto, Ron, and Vin.
I don't see the Honda CRX in there, man. I feel like the CRX should be in there. Man, Mazda Miata and E46, you guys are so Wonder Bread, man. That's just such a...
Not Wonder Bread to pick a car that's good.
You read Grassroots Motorsports. That's what everybody drives.
Look, the vote is for best budget race car, not most unique car, not most oddball pick.
Although, by the way, I do love that the Mini Cooper doesn't even have one vote.
I love the audience.
I love the Mini Coopers, and they're like, I can't even vote for it. I can't even do it. So... let's see, what's the Starion got? Starion's got 2 votes. Oof. But I will say the GC8 was on my list, and that's currently 4th position. And the E36 is probably one of the, and the E46 are probably one of the better cars. I have a thing against Mazda Miatas because I don't fit in them. So that's just my thing with Miatas. I can't love them because I can't fit in them.
You just sit in the back seat, dude. The 330i.
Go ahead.
If you get an M54 turbo kit, you could be pushing like 400 horse. Shove some 275s under there and just call it a day, dude. Be so quick.
Well, hey, it's shaking it up right now. Just hitting refresh. Mini Cooper has now picked up 12 votes, which passed the Starion, the Bentley, the Eclipse, and the NSX, aka CRX in this case.
Was it a Pikes Peak video or was it a pity vote?
Yeah.
It was 100% pity vote because the Pikes Peak video, it had an R35 GTR drivetrain in it.
Man.
And
So,
going back to the list vote between the three gladiators, Scotto coming in third, Vin in second, and Ron still dominating with 47% of the votes. Mazda Miata, E46, E36 rounding up our top three best budget cars currently as it stands.
sweet. All right, what do we got? Who do we want to bring into this battle right now?
I just want to bring Soupy to talk shit on the B5 chassis.
You want to bring Soupy in to talk shit? Look, man, I know the car understeers. My coupe understeers too. It's miserable. You have to do all these things to make them drive cool. But I don't know. I still like them. It's just
I do too. I'll be real. I just want to talk to Soupy about the lawnmower setup.
I like Audis for the same reason Hurt likes RX-7s. Visually, I like them, and I like the way they sound. And I know they're not as good at driving cars as maybe an E36, but I still enjoy them. And sometimes there's some fun in driving a car that's a little bit more difficult to drive. Like, I totally believe that I'd rather drive a slow car as fast as I can than drive a fast car not fast.
Yeah, but that's talking horsepower. Because when you actually want to like drive a car hard, like whether you're racing or drifting, I think having a car that is hard to drive is not fun because it doesn't do what you want. But I think like on the street, that's different. Because if you're like, I like a quirky car on the street, that's like a whole different thing.
I think that, you know, a front wheel drive car, you can probably drive hard. A lot of people can drive harder than they can a full blown like rear wheel drive car. Like
I don't know. I drove a front wheel drive car on track and I found it to be harder than rear wheel drive because I'm just like, it was my first time ever. So I found it to be very difficult.
I drove.
It really depends on the setup too. Because like a decent Integra on track that's set up to be a little tail happy could be, and you left foot brake the whole time, could be one of the most fun times you'll ever have on a track.
I drove a Opel Astra, whatever the like premium is for that, whatever it was the N-Ring edition at the Nürburgring, and like it was a great car and it stepped out and like I mean I didn't find it difficult to drive at all. So, but yeah, I mean I think if you're more used to front wheel drive or all wheel drive cars, like that just feels a little bit more comfortable. So I don't know. I just think that there's definitely more fun in pushing a car, even if it's a rear wheel drive car. Like if you had like a stock, you know, even like an FRS, like, you know, it's not a super high powered car, but you can, if you tune it and get suspension set up, you can drive the shit out of it and drive it on the edge instead of like not driving it near the edge. Like I've driven Viper ACRs on track and I'm not a good enough driver to like drive that car on the edge.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
So there's something fun about that. And like, oh, I mean, look, still to this day, for me, I've had more fun in Rabbit GTIs than I have in a lot of cars, and with stock 1.8 liter engines. But they're just like, you can get it up on two wheels. And I wish Tony Harmer could join this because Tony Harmer and Tony has sat passenger to me in more cars than anyone else has. I mean, when I was a journalist, me and him would go to tracks every other weekend and be doing press junkets and all of that. And the most I've ever scared him was in a Mini Cooper.
Can you just tell the chat to spam Tony Harmer's Instagram page with stop being a...
Yes, please. That would be incredible.
What could be a funny thing they could pester him with? Come up with a nice quirky line.
I don't know, man. Tony Harmer. We used to have a song for Tony's hard body, which was hard body. Like, you know, you had to sing it. You couldn't just say it. You know, and like and then like we would sing him the whole song. We also used to call him
rendition. We
used to call him Hammerstein instead of Tony Harmer because it was like Hammerstein Ballroom. So yeah, so you could just hit him up with Hammerstein. He does not like that at all. He hates that.
It looks like
another one he doesn't like.
It also looks like Ron's votes went through the roof with the hard body song. Everybody's now voting for the hard body. Scott.
Our body is what's up.
Ron's just gone through the roof.
The tough thing is I like all of these cars. So this is a tough one. So 944 is doing okay out there, by the way, with 24 votes. That one's doing strong because it's not that far away. I mean, the Fox Body Mustang at 27 votes, the GCA at 29 votes. So all you guys are out there saying you hate my list, but you're still voting for all the cars on my list. I think it was just the Mini Cooper killed it for everybody.
I told you, the Mini Cooper's bringing you down. You had a solid list. Mm-hmm. I love that the Volvo 240 is on nobody's list.
Although we did
is on there.
Yeah, Volvo 240 is doing
fully backing it.
Yeah,
240 so good. I love those cars.
Yo, you want
actually? I want to ask you guys something. Actually, Going
What's up,
back,
Corey?
going back to the best budget race car, the polling system. How accurate would you say their top 5 is out of the entire list? How would you guys rank them? How would you rank Chad on their top 5 based on the poll?
I don't know. Can I see it again? I missed out. Where is it?
Minus Fox Body Mustang. I think it's pretty solid.
So right now for Chat's top 5, coming in 5th place. Oh, I'll start from the bottom. 5th place, we have the Volvo 240. 4th place is the Subaru GC8. 3rd place is the BMW E36. 2nd place is the BMW E46 330, and then the 1st place currently is the Mazda Miata. That's what Chat was able to come up with based off your guys' list.
Pretty solid. I don't think that the Volvo 240 is actually a good car for like a track car. I think it is like a cool car though.
I think the 240 needs too much work, but in full cross, like they're really good cars. But for track cars, they just need a lot because they're super soft cars comparably. They kind of need an engine and they need all of that.
But it's just a location thing because in Sweden, the folk race cars are all Volvo 240s, and they have these guys that build NA 4-cylinder motors that rev to like 8,000 RPM. All the cars have them, and they're so quick. It's crazy to see such a big car move that fast.
To do my initial list, based on what you guys have said, what the race car poll has said, I would argue that the Mazda Miata belongs in there, although it would never be on my list because I don't really fit in one. E46 and E36, like I almost feel like that should be the same car. Like they're pretty well combined at this point, but whatever. GC8 I think is strong on the list. I think the Fox Body Mustang should actually be in that top list position, and I think the Integra belongs up there as well. All the other cars are fun cars, but if we're really getting serious, I feel like that's the right list.
Would you guys mind if I throw my top 5 out there to shoot them at you, and you guys can tell me if it's a good or bad list? You guys just tell me if it's a good or bad list. I'm not going to do any animations. This is just what I was looking at. One of my top 5s right here. EG Honda Civic, Acura DC2. I did have a 944. I had a Miata, and then one car that I had that you guys didn't have was the RX-8.
Yeah, RX-8 was on my fake additional list. So, I mean, I think if we could get the RX-8 on there, we should have. RX-8 for me might be in the top 5. I got to be honest.
What I did, looked at my Craigslist, found everything within 2,500. The EG Civic, I'm a fan of the EG Civic. Price-wise, very affordable, tons of aftermarket. The DC2 you guys went over. Scotto, we went over the 944. Miata's in the lead on the list. The RX-8, once again, tons of aftermarket. Very underrated. The motor's kind of shit in it, the Renaissance motor, but at the end of the day.
Renaissance motor.
The Renaissance.
That's all I'm calling it from now on.
Yeah.
It's so good.
With the Renaissance motor, you can do cool things though. Like people have done some rad stuff with it. It just takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was my quick blaster.
Drop an LS in it and make it a great car.
Dude. So chat, we have 15, actually 18 strong cars. We have to figure out how we're going to organize our list. So do you guys want to pick 2 of your favorite out of each category if you have to break it down to 2? Or how should we organize the top 5 car list? Because right now, if you look at the screen, you'll see this is the combined total picks from Scotto, Ron, and Vin. So it's almost you guys have to send your heaviest contender into the arena to fight. So we have to figure out how we're going to start breaking this side down to get the final 5.
By the way, I've just invited a guest. So hopefully he pops in soon as he gets this figured out. And
who is it?
It's a surprise guest. You'll know when he shows up. But he has real racing pedigree, where the rest of us don't.
Hold on.
So he worked on a race team. Boom! It's Batim. Batim, welcome. He's trying to figure out his stuff. What's up, Batim?
Hey, what's up, Batim?
He's connecting right now.
Hello.
Hey, Batim, how you doing?
What's happening?
Just so you know, you're live in front of a lot of people, so don't say anything offensive.
Nice to have someone so handsome on the stream.
Yeah, seriously.
Look at all you sexy men's.
Out of the shop, man.
Tim, do us a favor. Turn your camera horizontal so we can see a little more. There we go.
And also, if you swipe right on the screen, you'll see everybody in one frame.
You guys are so good.
Or is that where you tell everyone to just swipe right on the screen?
That's why my finger has a bicep, dude, just from swiping right.
Right. Like muscle memory. So this is my first Zoom ever.
Okay, so you're figuring it out. You're there. I see you're at the shop by yourself, but because technically in the state of California, you are an auto repair shop, so you can stay open through all of this. But you're there by yourself right now working on stuff?
Yeah, just kind of just plugging away just on some mild things. We typically have 11 people here, including myself, but right now we are down to me, and then every once in a while I'll bring somebody in to do if we're going to work on the fab shop, and they've been quarantined long enough, but we are for the most part kind of just in limbo, trying to keep things moving the best we can.
All right, so what we brought you on for today with Tim is we started a list of the top cars to buy for under $2,500. That all you can do is spend an additional $2,500 on it. So it's a full $5,000 track car. And we've already created a bit of a list here. So we're gonna run you through the list, and I don't want you to know whose picks for what. We want you to just basically say yay or nay. Good cop, bad cop, right? So good cop is a good purchase, bad cop is a bad purchase. So we're gonna start on the list. Corey, do you want to run through that list?
Yeah, I'll start off with. I'll start off.
Hold on real quickly. Tim, can you give a little background of your racing pedigree? Because you've worked on a lot of teams. Just give people like the 30-second version of what you've done.
30-second version. I used to work for Ford All Motorsports way back in the day, and we did a lot of ALMS and Grand Am. And I was always a crew guy, doing wheel tire changes, working on the cars, crash repair, all that stuff. And then ended up working at Porsche Motorsport for a while for a good stint. Did Le Mans 2 years in a row, the 24-hour. Did 8 24-hour Daytonas, 7 Sebrings. Did a lot of really endurance racing, basically based around Porsche. Now I just kind of try to hoon these things.
And that's a great 30-second bio. If you had asked me, I would have been like, well, I once did a donut in a parking lot with no doors in a car that cost $350, and
now you're internet famous.
That would be my whole pedigree story.
All right, so let's get into it, Corey. I want you, because you're the moderator on this, so you can run them through the list without giving any kind of bias to it.
All right. So I'm just going to do this in 1, 2, and 3. And but Tim, you can just say it could be the group of cars, or if there's an individual car that really stands out to you that is not on another list, could be an option.
I would just go through it and just have them good cop, bad cop.
Okay. So here we go.
How are you guys getting through these streams every day? Are you all wearing catheters, or what, is this like a race car? Should I be wearing a race suit?
I cut a hole in the bottom. I cut a hole in the bottom of my seat.
They're actually all sitting on the toilets.
Yeah.
I'm sitting on the toilet right now. That's why I have the fake background.
Yeah.
All right. So just real quick, good cop, bad cop. Do you buy it or you don't buy it? Starting off, Mitsubishi Eclipse.
Buy it.
Subaru GC8.
Nuh-uh.
BMW E46 330i.
God, I'm just trying to think of how much it cost. I want it.
Nissan Hardbody.
Yeah.
Ooh, hard body. Yeah. Number 1. Okay, Acura RSX.
No.
Bentley Continental GT.
It's right in that $2,500 price range.
It's going there.
Calling bullshit on that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna on once.
I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna pass on that one. Just budget restraints.
But Tim, I do not appreciate the pause in between the E46 question and how long it took you to respond.
Well,
because I thought about it so much. I'm like, how much money would you have to put into this thing to really make it beat everything else?
Ultimate driving machine. Have you heard their slogan?
I know.
Vin, I love that you're defending.
Don't try to sell him, Vin. You're selling it right now.
He's standing in front of a Pikes Peak winning 911, and I'm trying to tell him the beauty and grace of a $2,000 E46.
It's a fake background.
all right. But Tim, here we go. Next one. SN95 Mustang.
Yeah, for sure.
DC2 Integra.
That could be a fast car.
Buy it or not? Good copy or not?
I'm in.
Okay.
I'm in.
Mazda Miata.
For sure.
BMW E36.
Yes.
Okay. Last
just
5.
Saying that feels guilty now.
Last 5.
Yeah, I did, really.
Mitsubishi Starion.
No.
Porsche 944.
For sure.
Parts car.
And we already asked the GC. We already asked for the GC8, and he said no. How about the Mini Cooper?
No.
Mercure XR4 Ti.
Oh yeah, I've always wanted one of those.
Okay. Going off the list. All right. The first
Did you
one.
talk Acura RSX?
I said RXX. Said no.
Oh, okay.
So based off those three, I would have to say Vin's list.
Did you say Mazda Miata?
I said Mazda Miata, and he said yes.
Okay, yeah. As you should. As you should.
Okay. So based on the list, I went Ron's list first, Vin's, and then Scotto's. And I think Vin's list may have had the most yes by one, topping.
I mean, let's be honest, guys. I'm the most basic, so of course I'm going to win the majority vote.
Yeah.
You
I'm
are
never going to get coolness factor, but I'll get most basic for sure.
Modern vote right now.
Okay, and so, but Tim,
For
out
the
of
people.
all those cars that we just said, what was the one that stood out to you the most?
944.
Shocker.
Yeah, well, okay. That was my first. I bought one for $800 back, like when I was 19 years old or 20 years old, right when I was like started to work on cars, and I ended up racing the thing in ITS and SCCA, and ended up doing pretty well in that stupid car for like $2,300 all in, and then the safety equipment. So I know you can do it. I would just LS swap. Sorry.
I agree. I said the same thing.
Yeah.
That's
swap.
cool.
Renegade.
I can respect
That'd be a
that.
good car.
All right. I mean, I would say the 944 of everything on my list is probably the one I stand behind the most, other than that and the GC8. All right, so
I still stand behind RSX smoking all those cars with the right, not a ton of money behind it.
You think with $2,500 that thing will get it done?
I think so. Well, $2,500, but you have a little bit of budget to get it over the hump. You know, a little bit of race prep because it's already got a K20. You just turbo that thing, stuff some 265s under there. You could probably fit those with a fender roll. They weigh around like 2,600, 2,500 pounds. So that's a lot of tire and a lot of power for a light car.
Yeah.
all right.
I'm trying to get votes with Tim. I'm just out here trying to get votes.
Yeah, no, I'm hearing you. I like the lightweight. I like the amount of tire you can put under it. But a 944, you could do like a 315 rear, 265 front.
Whoa, damn.
And
I think Ron's speaking a lot of fake news right now, too. I don't know how easy you're turboing an RSX to fit 265s on there. You're trying to sell us. You're salesmanning us on the two.
he said a fender roll.
Yo, right now, chat, fact check Ron. Fact check him.
You can mad fit 265s. Your ride height would be boo-boo, but like,
I like 45s on my Audi, man. I don't know, man. Pedestrian cars don't have that much space. That is one thing.
I think
I think if you cut a little bit out of your suspension budget and you go with the Max Peating rod and then you just get the bolsters there.
All right, so but Tim, give us your top 5 list. That could either include what's already on the list, or you could add something new. Start position 5. What's number 5 for you?
All right, start number 5, 1981 Toyota Starlet.
Ooh, support that.
oh,
Coming out with the heat.
Yeah, I would do.
Although I'd argue they're hard to find for under $5,000 these days, but I'll let you have it.
You know, I can't believe that. So, I mean, I can believe that because they're amazing. But back in the day, they used to be like a dime a dozen up in the Northwest. And our big thing when I was like 16, 17, 18 is we would try to off-road cars against all of our buddies who had big trucks. And the only thing that could ever kill, like on the trails up in Washington State, the only thing that could ever kill some Toyota trucks was we'd weld the diff up on a Starlet, ratchet strap the battery down, and then put all-terrains, or actually once we used a hacksaw to groove some tires. But
Nice. But Tim, I didn't realize you were such a shithead kid like all of us. That's great.
Look, I just end up working on nice things.
Your pedigree story was way
woods
too nice to find out that you were ratchet strapping batteries into cars that you were off-roading. That's great. I'm excited.
The battery was the thing that would kill the car the most. That thing would flip upside down, kill everything, and you're done. So
Solid.
yeah. Okay, so Starlet. I want a Fox body Mustang in there. That would be number 4. An E30, anything E30, like just.
I don't think you can find those for $2,500 anymore. I think that's
Can't find a Fox body for $2,500 either, though.
one.
Scotto did show one. It was a little ratty, but
Was
it
it as
had
good as
had
his
the parts.
944?
I need to do some more
Parts
research
car?
then, don't I? I think I'm living 10 years ago.
Automatic for $2,500, but
All right. What
automatic.
about a 91 Sentra SE?
Nice.
Yeah. That's-
Drive option.
Front wheel drive SR20.
Yep. Yeah.
DE.
It's number one.
Yeah, it's kind of following that, kind of following the footsteps of the RSX there. With you could put some tire under it, and it's
Getting hot
super.
here.
What else? Damn. Okay, so that's 3. 2 would be. Can you get first gen RX-7s for cheap still?
Not anymore. They're kind of gone up a bit. Yeah. You may be able to find some real ratty ones.
Yo, someone said Infinity G20, which is pretty good. Is that the same as a Sentra?
Yeah.
Is that the same
Yeah,
like SR20?
yeah, it's like a dolled up version of that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
Damn. What else? Yeah, the 944 you can definitely do. That's on there.
On top of your list, is that 2 or 1?
That would be number 2.
Okay.
So I started Starlet on 5.
Yep.
And then you know what else? A ratty 914.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Because you could ease. I mean, you don't even need much power, but suspension and I mean those things you could easily get sub 2,100 pounds on that car. And we're talking about like taking it to the track and trying to lap time this thing, right? Yeah.
All right.
I mean, that's just quick without doing any research. That's about as fast as I could do it.
I like that list. That's a good list right there.
I would-
All right. Well, but Tim, thank you for joining us. We got to now randomly crank call other people and get them to give us their list. So, but Tim, thank you for joining us. Who's up next?
All right. Thanks, you guys.
Later,
See ya.
Later, Tim.
Take care, you guys.
Stay safe out there.
Likewise, you too. Take care, everyone.
Later, Tim.
Later, man.
See you guys.
I was thinking about we should have asked him what he thought on the 1.8T.
Yeah, I've been trying to get Soupy on, but he's not. Let me just call him. I'm just gonna call him and see if we can get him together.
Probably making beautiful things out of metal.
Yo, you know what we didn't share with anyone on today's episode is he has a radio controlled lawnmower. Yo,
That's the thing is, when do you think last time Batin bought a $2,500 car? He's surrounded in these amazing Porsches. He's like, $2,500. I just spent that on a wheel set or tires for my race car.
Wheel set, you wish.
Tires,
you
yeah,
wish.
tires.
Oil change.
Dude, an oil change. Yeah, he's been on an oil change.
Honestly, so much of me just wants each one of us to pick one of the top cars from our list and actually go do a track day with it.
He did swing the SCR on us. And this is what I was going to ask you before I forget. How many of the cars on your list have you guys actually driven?
I've driven everything on my list.
Ron,
Yeah, I think
Vin?
about the same.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay, so there's some driver data behind it on each side on that decision.
I mean, but here's the thing about driving any of the cars we named is like probably one of them were decently sorted. All the rest of it was garbage. Like I drove the XR4 Ti and it was like had 7 blown struts and like the coolant was leaking everywhere.
that's all of them.
But me and Ron have driven Chris Duplessis' XR4 Ti at
On the
his
farm.
rally course, and that thing is batshit awesome.
Oh, so good. And
I went home
pretty
there.
much lived on stage roads.
That thing was just so good. I've driven, I mean, going through the list, I've driven Miatas, but I don't really fit in them. Actually, the Miata is one of the first cars I ever fishtailed. My buddy's mom had an automatic one that we would take out in the rain.
I have a question. I see a lot of people in the chat bringing up, like, honestly, all day, Pontiac Fieros. Has anyone driven a Fiero? Are they a good car or are they
No.
joking?
I've driven one.
I was going to actually put that on my list. I found a Fiero for sale.
But are they good cars? Like, do they perform?
No,
Well-
absolutely not.
So hold on 1 second. Soupy, 1 second. We got something.
What's up?
The man.
What up, Soupy?
What up, guys?
So are you guys seeing this?
Oh, yeah. Almost loaded. It's almost loaded.
Pixels.
Fix
On that tire low.
So I found a Fiero last night, and I thought to myself, is this a car that anyone's ever driven at Anger, or do you just use them to make fancy Lamborghinis out of?
There was actually one at Lemon that had a full-on F40 like bodywork, but it actually looked pretty good. If you look up Lemon's F40, it's kind of sick.
By the way, this is always a good situation when the ad says 1,500 on it, but it says 900.
He's already low. He's doing half the work.
MS painted onto the hood.
Also, in the same world as the Fiero, I bring you the Pontiac Fire GT.
God, I forgot about that.
Oh, that is, dude, that one is sick.
That's clean.
That's pretty fire.
On fake TEs? Yo, imagine you got fake TEs on a fake Ferrari.
Oh, fire.
Yo,
Yeah, rip.
compound fake.
Are you guys really looking at Fieros right now?
Yeah. All right, so
Well, yeah, Soupy, we called you just to talk about salvage title E63 AMGs.
I don't know what you're talking about.
look, you got race seats in here.
Yo, you even got fake Takadas. You got Tankanas.
Tankanas?
Oh my god. Ancona 3.
So yeah,
Turn your phone sideways so we could see your beautiful
by the
mug.
way, this
There
is
you
what
go.
talking about three. I mean,
Somehow you're still sideways. Unlock your
Yes. Look at that. Look at that thing. Look
That's
Unlock your
clean.
screen, you dinosaur.
it is
what you're
amazing
getting for the price.
right now. E42.
Soupy's learning how to phone right now.
Yo, for real, which way am I going? This way? This way? Is there any
Just
difference?
swipe up or down and then unlock your screen so it'll turn.
One of the most amazing fabricators I've ever seen in my
Come on,
life is learning how to
Grandpa.
phone right now.
Shut up.
This is so good.
The man can fabricate anything out of anything, but using an iPhone is just.
Flabbergasted.
I'm just over here looking at Sobs. Don't mind me.
Hold on, is that hood broken or is that how it opened?
No, that's Sob spec right
I'm
there.
on just so I can get the license plate Sob story. It'd be so good.
Oof. Another car, since we were just looking at the Fiero, another car that I was looking at to add on my imaginary list is an MR2. I have not driven an MR2, but are those worth a damn?
Yeah, Nick Fosecki's from Falcon actually just picked up like a cherry MR2.
They're pretty sick.
They're
I
dirt
love it.
cheap right now, too.
All right,
Which
so-
ones? The old body ones? The flip up light ones?
No, not the wedge.
By the way, big thanks to Falcon right now. I think we've been running real long today and getting real into it. Big thanks to Falcon for making the stream possible.
That's really
Yep.
Those guys supporting the stream so you guys can sit at home and listen to us talk the most random of bullshit about cars. So, Soupy, the reason that you're here is because we have made a list of cars. And here's the game we're going to go through. We're going
Alright.
to review that list, right? And here's the goal. The car needs to be under $2,500 purchase, and then you can put another $2,500 into it, right? So it's like a $5,000 track car. So it's a car you want to go to bring for a track day. And when we say track, we mean like road course day, right? So
Okay.
what we're going to do is we're going to go through this list, and it's either going to be good cop or bad cop. Like, do you cop the car or do you not cop the car, right? So in proper Queens vernacular, good cop, bad cop. All right, Corey.
Well, actually, I don't even think that. I think Soupy should be exempt from this because
Nope.
he's like a
We're,
magician. So he's gonna be like, for $2,500, I'd be able to put a Lamborghini V10 in there in a day and a half. Like that doesn't count.
I mean,
He's got Jamo on the search. Jamo could search anything.
Jamo somehow got someone to pay him to take a Lamborghini motor.
I've got to share this thing that I got that someone sent me the other day. You built a lawnmower with tank tracks on it? And
Yeah.
Video controlled?
Yeah.
Do you mind if I share that video?
No, go for it.
All right. I gotta find it. But while I'm finding
All right.
it, before you start
I'm going to run through the list. So,
Good cop,
Soupy,
bad cop, Soupy.
All right, let's go.
do you get it or not get it? Here we go. Mitsubishi Eclipse.
First gen.
Ooh. First gen, is that four-wheel drive or front-wheel drive?
Use your imagination.
Well, the goal would be to maybe buy. I think the goal would be to eventually make it all-wheel drive. Like you could
Oh,
buy
well-
a drive and convert it to all-wheel drive, or you could try to buy an all-wheel drive if you found one cheap enough.
I wish I would. You know what? I would do that. That's a pretty decent car. It had a decent motor.
All
Yeah,
right.
I guess you. I would cop that.
Good comp. All right, here we go. Subaru GC8.
No.
Yeah.
BMW E46 330i.
Ooh. Man, I don't know if you can revive it for $2,500. If you change the thermostat, you're $2,700 already.
Good cop, bad cop. You taking the 330?
Nah, I'm gonna pass.
All right, here you
back
go.
up.
How about the Nissan Hardbody?
Oh yeah.
Take the Hardbody. And then the last
take
one
the
about this
Hardbody.
one, the Acura RSX.
Man, McPherson strut, K20, base model. Yeah, you know what? That's a pretty decent racer. I would cop that.
Oof. So list 1 has 3 yeses. Here we go. List 2. Bentley Continental GT.
Oh my God.
For $2,500.
You're not. Yeah. I would not pay $2,500.
I know a guy in Astoria. He got one that was in Hurricane Sandy. It needs minor work, but it's $2,500.
Oh man.
The interior has minor.
I would buy it just to strip it and sell it.
Parts card out.
But yeah, that would be my part. I would definitely not try to run that thing. Definitely.
So no cop. Here we go. SN95 Mustang.
Yes.
DC2 Integra.
Absolutely, 100%.
Mazda Miata.
Well, that's a given. Everybody races a Miata.
That's just like such a basic, right?
A Miata
Yeah.
has an acronym about itself, which is the best part about the car. Miata stands for Miata is always the answer.
Oh god.
Oh my
Amazing.
God.
It's a race car every weekend, even more than Porsches.
Yeah, Miatas were just race cars in general. So yes, that's a good cop.
And then what about a BMW E36?
Oh man, E36, I would say yeah, because you know what, they're cheap enough and they're pretty interchangeable with everything else. So yeah, I would do that.
So list number 2 has 4 yeses. Now coming down to the last list right here, Mitsubishi Starion.
Man, the worst heads on that thing. The interiors fall off immediately when you sneeze. Man, that thing is the motor is such junk.
That's why they all have small block Chevys in them.
I know, because they're such junk. I swear, they're terrible. And they have such a cult following that I don't know. I would pass. I would pass.
Yo, someone in the chat said,
I just don't want to be in that group of guys who has a Starion. You know what I mean?
Dude, best Miata disc I've seen all day. Tofty 88. With PAX, I came in first. Guaranteed Miata owner. Dude, autocross jokes.
All right.
So Starion's a no. What about a Porsche 944?
Oh man, the bastard Porsche. I never really liked those things, but they're cheap enough and you could crash them all day and parts are pretty decently available. So yeah, that's a pretty decent one.
Okay, so we got a yes on the Porsche 944. We got a cop. Subaru GC8, you said no. How about this one? How about a Mini Cooper?
The BMW that's not really a BMW. I don't know. I'm not a big Mini Cooper guy. I'm going to pass.
Okay, so we got one so far on the list. Final car, Merkur XR4Ti.
You know, that is a car that I always thought looked cool, but it is such a poor performing car. It is so bad. It's like, it looks good from afar because it has kind of like that race rally look, but it's just such a bad car. It's got a pistol motor in it.
Okay, let me ask you this. Who do you think picked the last 5 cars out of
Brian Scotto?
Did he miss a beat?
Oh.
I take it up. You could tell who picked what.
So,
Doobie, how does it make you feel that me and you were most aligned?
No way.
Yeah, it's like we almost held hands, but like
I got a bone to pick about the 46 or 36.
Hold on, there was a couple other cars that came up that weren't on any list. Fox Body Mustang.
I love that car.
Yeah. All right.
You're a New Yorker. You have to love it.
I'm sorry. That's one of my. It's on my bucket list. I've never had one. I have to have one eventually.
So
Same. I feel you, man. I'm with you 100%.
Another car that was on the list that came up, CRX.
Absolutely. Love that car.
Duh.
Because I have to say, my list is 8 long.
My top 5 is 8 long.
And I didn't actually order it. Someone else put it in order. Like, I would say for me, CRX and Mustang were like in my top 5. They weren't organized that way. But
yeah.
Anyway, also another one that was brought up was the RX-8.
Oh.
Shitty motor, but really good handling car.
Yeah, it's a good handling car. That weird door always got me.
It's so gross. That's why it's $1,500 all day long.
That's why nobody wants them because they blow up.
And
But-
they're ugly. They're uglier than
They-
ugly.
They're extremely ugly.
We have one in Hoonigan and nobody wants it.
The
Hey,
junk
anyone in
guys
the chat,
use
we
it.
have a RX-8 with brand new BC Racing coilovers on it. If you want it for $500.
Oh gosh. Yeah, get rid of that, please.
Wear your masks. Okay. What was
Just leave $500 cash under one of the
Volvo
other cards.
240 is one that really kind of came out of the chat. Volvo 240.
240?
Yeah,
Volvo.
that's like an old brick.
Yeah, I guess. 240. Yeah, it's decent. I think it has a. You talking about the S chassis 240?
No, Volvo.
No,
Yo,
Volvo.
so
Volvo
many
240 with-
people want the RX-8 for $500. Maybe we should, if only the coronavirus wasn't around, I think we could have an actual like boxing league over who could take it.
Or we could just do a giveaway.
Do they know that it doesn't have an engine or like anything in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Just get rid of the thing. Do a giveaway. Do something.
But it's got brand new BCs, and I think it's got wheels.
Or we build that into a track car and go show it.
Oh my god.
It is
No, Soupy. Or we build the RX-8 when you get back.
No,
Or Soupy builds the RX-8.
We want to
And next
come
thing
back,
in the
guys.
list.
We want him to come back. Anyway, I got something to share. Soupy built this. This is Soupy's lawnmower at his house.
Soupy, that's not a story. Where is that?
That makes me want to see Soupy in Robot Wars. Guaranteed to destroy everybody.
Yo, that's sick.
So, Soupy, what's the backstory on that?
Well, that's my house upstate, and every time I went up there, one of my things is I went up there. I had to mow the lawn, and because we only go up there like once a month, so the grass grows super fast. And every time I go up there, I get bit by ticks mowing the lawn. So my excuse was I didn't want to get tick bites anymore, so I made that thing. So now when we get up there, I just let it run in the yard, and I
Position 1. The lawnmower is now position 1 of best track.
Wait, so is that like a lawnmower homemade Roomba? Like it just goes?
No, it's remote control. So
Okay.
I'm standing on top of my patio and like, maneuvering it.
That's amazing. You're my hero now.
Robot Wars.
Come on. When we were
What type of motor are we talking? We got a 5-horse Briggs and Stratton on that thing?
That's a
What?
Briggs and-
Pulsar,
yeah, of
electric
course.
start? Tell us more.
that's a Briggs and Stratton. It's got I think that was the test run. So it still had it has 2 lithium ion batteries on it from a
What type
motorcycle.
of Cole cranking amps we got on that, Soupy?
It's got 2 motors, which came off a wheelchair. 2 wheelchair motors.
Are you guys ready to see it?
Oh,
Wow.
this was the test run in front of my house. Without obviously, I don't have the blades going, but yeah, that's it.
This is
That dog is like, yo, I gotta get out.
Yeah, he is ready to move away from this thing.
Watch out, Hunter.
Yeah.
Hunter, you gotta move.
Yeah, you know the kids don't.
Wow, that thing rips.
Quick. Battle bot.
That's legitimately amazing.
Mind blowing.
Dude, do you live near JFK? I can hear the planes flying.
What's that?
You live near JFK? I hear the planes flying over.
Are you near JFK or LaGuardia?
No, you know what? I'm like in the middle.
Oh, you're just in the flight path.
I'm in the flight path of
So, Soupy, let me ask,
all of
does
New
that-
York is
does
in the
that thing
flight
do
path.
edging too, or it only does big lawns?
It will only do big lawns. Sorry.
You got to put an edger on there too, man. Step it up. Come on.
So, by the way, mods, if you could link today's episode on Project Car for everybody right now, which is Soupy's Home Garage.
Mhm.
I love today's episode. Actually, I loved yesterday's episode, the new show, which
Yep.
is Renters. It's everybody working at home. getting to see John's garage yesterday, which honestly is just like perfectly staged. It's like the perfect hot rod garage. It's got slicks hanging on the wall. It just looks like a set dressing. And then you cut to Soupy's garage today, and Soupy's garage is like just the most well thought out one car garage. It's better than, I mean, honestly, until Soupy came to Hoonigan, because he brought all his tools with him, that one car garage was more functional than everything we had at Hoonigan.
Oh yeah. Dude, it's IKEA spec. Every centimeter is used to.
Oh yeah. Yeah, shoot, you have to. You know how tight it is in here.
You want to be my garage consultant because my garage is the least effective, crappy mishmash of just things thrown in a space that I need some help with making it function.
Listen, the thing is, the first room I renovated in my house when I first moved in my house was my garage.
Nice.
I painted. I did because think about what that is. When you first move into a house, you have an empty garage. Your whole entire life in that house, you would never have an empty garage ever again.
True. I have to paint my garage, and the task of emptying it out is astronomical.
Heinous.
So the mistake
Exactly.
when I moved into my house, I made the biggest mistake ever is I moved everything from the moving truck into my garage.
My garage is a war zone.
So I still have half of the things I haven't figured out a home for living in my garage, which is just the worst thing ever. So let's get back to this list because I think people this list getting sorted. So I think what we need to try to do now is make a realistic top 5 based on everyone's. My recommendation would be take the car on your list that you think is the best car and put that one forward, right? And then let's start with those 3. And then let's take what we think then let's take the car we think the chat maybe think is best that's not up there. And then maybe we'll look at what Soupy and what Batim brought. Because I will say something that's really interesting about Soupy and Batim. Both of them liked the 944, but didn't like the E46. I was really surprised. Both of them were against the E46. And both of them were also against the GC8, which was both high on me and Ron's list. And these guys are actually guys who built and prepped real deal race cars, so they know them a little bit better than we do. We've driven them, but we haven't actually gotten to live and see them like that. So, and by the way, the chat is asking, Soupy, what do you think about a B5 Audi S4? Like, where does that live? Or even just an A4 as a car on the list?
The B5 S4, that's the twin turbo V6.
Or the A4. I mean, it might be hard to find A500, but
I would actually prefer the A4 over the S4.
Because the S4 is the hardest car to work on the planet.
It is the worst car to work on. Parts are $1 million. The A4 has the 4-cylinder, which comes in just about everything.
1.8 turbo, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was on my side list, and Vinny told me that Soupy would trash that decision. But you actually
I said S4. The S4 is the worst car ever.
Yeah,
S4, but it's terrible to own. I've always said I would own a B5 S4 if it came with a pit crew that would work on it for me.
It's a good-looking car, though. Like a bunch of there's a bunch of guys out here. Oddly enough, they know Taki and Chris from C&M Performance. Big shout out to C&M Performance, Story of Queens. And they're also Greek. I think all Greeks who own Volkswagens know each other. Out here, this guy George and his brother, they build like B5s with VR6 turbos in them, and they're awesome beasts. I'll try to find a video, but let's start getting this list going. So
hold on, I got to address one thing that's going on in the chat right now. Everyone is saying, why not G35 350Z? And I think they might have missed the point, which is the price point of the car is $2,500, and 350Zs and G35s just haven't gotten there yet. Like, you could get one for $4,000, but you're not getting one for $20,000.
Well, they're really close, and I would say that in 6 months from now, if the prices continue to dip, they would end up on the list. But I actually think that there's a new drift tax on them.
Yeah.
So when we bought our G35, we got it for like $2,500 or $3,000. It was in that range. But since then,
they needed a motor though. Right away, it needed a motor.
Yeah, it crashed the motor immediately.
So we had talked about that before because I talked about Ashley's G35. And like Vinny said that car is a unicorn. The fact that it's at 230,000 miles and still runs great. Most of them don't. So I think that was the concern, was that it would immediately need a motor. Our G35 would replace the engine after the first day playing with it. So that was sort of the concern, right? Yeah. But I think that car deserves to be somewhere in the list. It's just not there yet.
So
I I don't think drift tax is going to make that car a $4,000 car in a year from now.
So based off kind of just what we were talking about and looking at who voted yes and no, the list that would be just top 3 for right now, or just 3 on the board, not necessarily top 3, would be the Porsche 944, which almost everybody agreed on.
Yep.
Okay. The Mazda Miata, which almost everybody agreed on, yeah?
Yep.
Okay. And then the DC2 Integra was another one that most people agreed on. But that's still up to debate. So we need, if you guys agree with those 3, we'll need 2 more. And once again, we still have the hard body.
What was that? I think the E36, everyone agreed.
So
the E36 is a fantastic track car.
Do you want the E36 to replace the DC2 Integra, or do you want that on top of the DC2 Integra as well?
On top, dude, DC2 Integra is so quick on track for not.
Yeah, dude. I in like the 2000s when the Type R's came out, I was racing DC2 Integras in the Speed World Challenge, and let me tell you, man, those cars are really, really quick. And for being front wheel drive, they're going around corners, they're pulling out of corners faster than some of the rear drive Beamers were doing. So those cars are quick on track.
Yeah. So now we add the E36. So Porsche 944, Miata, Integra DC2, BMW E36. We need 1 more. And if we go to what the chat poll was, the highest ranking chat poll that is not on our list yet would be the E46 330i, which is in 2nd place. But then also we have the Fox body, which ranking, the Volvo 240, the GC8, the 944. Mini Cooper passed the hard body.
Can we that's a shame. Can we get, even though I put it on the list, I still like can we get a new visual list going, Corey? Can that?
Yep, we are. I'm having it right here, so watch this.
While you're doing that,
Pow.
while you're getting a new visual list
It's already
going,
up, baby.
I had a quick little video I just wanted to share with people. I think we could do that real quickly. Just because Soupy brought it up, so I just wanted to let's see. You guys,
Honestly,
are you guys seeing this right now?
yeah.
This
What is
era.
that?
I don't see anything.
Anyone else?
C4.
Yeah, C4 for $10,000.
No, it's on the
Pretty
wrong
much.
screen. Hold on.
Yo, if you take any number out of that price, it's a good deal.
500. Yes, sold.
Now do you see it?
Yeah, there you go. See?
Oh,
Well, that's
5 of the 6 championships, and no touring car before or since has been as successful. So after I won the Drivers' Championship, 6 champion, 97 and 2002, the Acura Integra Type R dominated the Speed Touring Car Championship. Real Time won 5 of the...
Anyway, just bringing that car back up for
I'm
me.
buying an Integra tomorrow.
Just the Integra's covered in gold, in championships, in champagne.
yeah, I mean, that's a really good car, a track car.
That car was at SEMA this year.
Was it?
Yeah.
Wow.
So good.
I remember racing that thing.
So we're in the hunt right now for 1 more car, boys. Porsche 944, Miata, Integra, and E36 on the list. We need 1 more to enter.
I vote Fox Body Mustang.
Then Ron Scotto.
I love the Fox body, man, but I think it's out of the.
Well, if it's the Fox body that Scotto showed us, that might still have some life in it. But the final one for the $2,500 range, is that still doable? We saw one. Scotto shared
Is
it.
it?
I think you can find them. I think you can still find them out there, man.
What was the Mercury version of the Fox Body?
Capri.
What was it called?
Capri.
The
Oh, I think
Capri.
we went over it.
They're cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, Capris are so sick. They look awesome.
Are they cheaper?
I don't know. I think they might be because it's not like the classic Fox body. They're
Yeah.
harder
but
to find though.
So we still have.
I've gone back and I'm looking at the list, and I like everything that's on here. We're just missing 1 car.
So here's what we could still add on there. Okay, we can still add the Acura RSX. Vin can still drive his Bentley Continental if he decides to. We have the E46 330i, the Corvette C4, the Fox Body Mustang. We have the CRX. We have the Mercury XR4 Ti. We have the Mini Cooper. We have the Eclipse, the Starion, the Hard Body, and then the GC8. But I think the GC8 almost been X'd by everybody at this point.
Yep. Well,
So-
I think
is it possible for us to take all these cars out of the poll that we have and put up a new poll that doesn't include these four. And let's see what the audience has to say.
So a new pull that doesn't include these four.
Yeah, can someone get on that? You know, for me, I think like the RX-8 is one that may still deserve to be in there because it's just a really good driver's car. I've just had really good experience with that. I did a track day where I did the RX-8, the Mustang GT when it was like new, and also the Ford GT supercar. And I ran the fastest laps of the day in the RX-8 because it's just such a confident car. The Ford GT is one of the scariest things I've ever driven. No traction control, like supercharger, just absolutely nuts. And I actually spun it on turn 11 at Laguna Seca and almost crashed one of like when they only had 3 of the cars. The RX-8 was a phenomenal car and was just so much fun and so controllable right out the box as a stock car. Like you could take that car, put a set of coilovers on it, and go to track. Problem is the Renesas motor is trash, so you would need to sort that out. There's obviously ways to fix that current motor. You could put in an older motor, or you could just put in an LS. And a lot of people think for LSs, junkyard LS. You probably get that sorted. Maybe $5,000. It's probably tight, but you could.
Yeah.
But you can find RX-8s for $1,000. Like they're right now.
Yeah.
They're that cheap. So I actually have one for sale. So,
the chat is finally waking up with the C4. Now you got people talking a lot about the C4 in chat.
No,
got it first.
Oh my god.
No.
Let's go back. You can put a big tire on it. It's a V8. I mean, what's that? The LT1 that's in there? Like it's a strong motor.
It's got leaf springs.
Yeah.
It has the OptiSpark.
I can't say anything to that. Like you literally just hit me with the hardest diss on the weekend. I've got no reply. I literally.
Somebody said Neon in the chat. Can you get an SRT4 for $2,500?
I don't.
Nah.
I think those
I don't think you can.
SRT4s are still like they still got like they're holding a premium at like $6,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they're still pretty expensive. Yeah.
Mazda Speed Proteges, those were cool front wheel drive cars.
Actually, I want to say the Protege is actually a really good car.
Yeah, it is.
Another one so this was on Ron's list and we didn't throw it on there because it was straight on last one. The IS300.
IS300, yeah, that was a good one, but they're hard to find. Which ones came in manual? Very few.
And those are still like holding a premium.
Yeah,
I just think if it's non-stick, I just don't think it's a fun.
No, and it was like a W55 manual, which is glass. Those things shatter.
Patrick Simkin put up an Ion Redline, which is a Saturn, right?
Yeah, those are quick.
Because they were quick and they're worth dirt right now because no one wants Saturn because they don't exist anymore. And I actually got my doors blown off my Golf VR6 by an Ion Redline once that had a turbo.
Yeah, and Cobalt SS, same exact drivetrain, supercharged inline 4 Ecotech, I think.
Yeah, Ecotech.
Isaiah Harrox in chat says, "What about the SC300?"
Too big.
Yeah, they're big and slow. Sick first drift car, but not for track day stuff.
Yeah, too big. Too heavy.
Yeah.
All right, so let's give the chat 1 minute to. Do we have that vote up yet, Corey?
I believe Jesse is working on that at this moment, so we're gonna be.
Yeah, by the way, a bunch of people are throwing out Railcar. These obviously who understand the finer parts of cars.
We gotta put Railcar somewhere.
Hey, folks. Well, if we want to pull something up in the meantime, I'd like to ask the chat because we were just debating on if this vehicle was possible to obtain for $2,500, and it seems it's so. Here we have an 05 G35 automatic. Is this a good cop or a bad cop? It has 130,000 miles, which isn't bad. I mean, it looks pretty suspect with black painted wheels and some crusty old headlights, and it's got plasti dip on it. It's got, cigarette stains on the inside. So like, it's pretty sus, but like
par for the course.
Is this a good cop for $2,500? I would say if you're looking to build a drift missile and you could put CD09 in it for cheap, maybe.
I'm going to say no, just because they're easy to find still with a manual. So that saves you the swap, time and money.
Yeah.
And this one has 100,000 miles less than Scotto's.
I don't know, man. I mean, a lot of people are saying it's a good cop.
Yeah.
I think so.
Pass.
Bad cop,
Why?
good. Yeah, this is a battle right now. Good cop, bad cop.
I'm passing on it. You can
So
find it.
here's what I did, folks. I just went to Craigslist and I typed in $5,000 limit
Yeah.
because 5,000 you could talk them down. I mean, like, dude, look at this. This is a killer deal for $3,500.
Oh,
It's a convertible though.
it's convertible.
With a Harbor Freight
Arguably
jack.
cooler if you're going to build a drift car. It already comes with a tutorial on how to put it on jack stands. Come on, folks. Good cop, bad cop.
Now, you're going to be fixing that more than you're driving it.
Guys, the poll is up. We're gonna give you guys 1 minute to vote. Jump in, vote, whether or not you're in the chat or you're just watching the stream. Click on that link, find it in the chat. We're gonna give you guys 1 minute. We're gonna try to narrow this down in the next 10 minutes, all right? So 1 minute, go after it.
Dude, Vinny does sound like one of the best used car salesmen I've ever met in my
Yes.
life. Come on,
Hard
folks,
ball.
look at here. We got the 2 pieces of wood. We got the Jackson. We could do this in your driveway. We could do this anywhere you want, folks.
Hey, man, if my career in live streaming on YouTube doesn't take off after today, I'm going straight back to the streets to sell cars. So, by the way, this has been pretty fun. I can't believe the other guys get paid to do this. This is
I
great.
know, right? Everyone
Can I do
else
this?
gets to do this every day while the rest of us have to do real work.
Yeah, that sucks. I'll trade. I'm down to trade.
Yeah, we should just
No comment.
This is super fun. It's like hanging out with my buddies, except for I don't have to be around you.
I haven't showered in like 5 days, so
If you guys aren't looking at the polls right now, if we're about halfway through the 1 minute mark, and we got a race for the top 2 right now, and it's only one vote apart.
The polls know what's up with the
one out of the top
46.
2 were on my list right now.
Scotto is getting redemption right now.
I'm saying not my list, but you guys in the end are gonna find a lot of the cars were from my list.
That's because you had 8 cars. It's unfair because you have 30% more cars than everyone else.
My game, my rules.
He's got the sneaky Pete Noss system in there.
All right, guys, let's get another 15 seconds on the board. Let's go ahead and get your votes in. We have a battle for first and second right now. It's separated by like 6 votes.
How do
I mean,
vote
let's be
again?
honest. Mine only has 4 actual picks. Brian's has 8. Got 100% more cars than I do on my list.
As you know in racing, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. All
I
right?
just want to say how proud I am of
Try hard enough,
Chat
buddy.
picking the hard
You
bottom.
can throw away collection with the Bentley you can't afford. Come on. By the way, I've driven a Bentley GT. It's trash. Like I had one.
Yes.
No, the Bentley GT was a joke. I don't think it's a
my
good.
smart car. It makes no sense. It's the biggest car, and the interior is crap.
I think it's hilarious that like you can buy one for $20,000, and like to people who don't know any better, they'll be like, "Oh, that person's rich. He's got a Bentley." Like,
All
right.
Right now, where are we looking here? What do we got?
Our minute's up. We can jump right into it. I think
Monte Carlo.
there's a 12-car jump from first and second, so I say it's safe to say that we have received the votes. The people have spoken. The new contender for the top 5
Let's get this screen.
is,
Let's see what this looks like.
boom, Fox Body Mustang has now entered the top 5 battles. So we have the Porsche 944, Mazda Miata, DC2 Integra, E36, and now the Fox Body Mustang enters the arena.
I support that. I also like second place, which was the CRX.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I guess if you had to choose between the Integra and the CRX, you'd choose the Integra, right?
Longer wheelbase. Yep.
Yep. Okay. All right. So let's position these cars in the place they go in. And I will tell you right now that anyone who belongs to any forum about road racing will tell you the Mazda Miata deserves in first place. I have a hard time voting for it there because if you're like a larger man, meaning anything over 6'2", it's impossible to fit into that car. Like, it's just not a good fit, and it's just not a good look. But it is a great driving car. Hurt joining in at the end, being over 6'2", it's impossible to fit into that car. Not a good fit. But it is a great your audio.
Sure, beginner's move, man. YouTube.
You're like first time caller on a radio show right now. Muting.
I'm not muted. What do you mean? I'm just being nice and not bombing your.
No,
mute your YouTube.
You're listening to it on YouTube, so we hear ourselves on echo.
Oh, okay.
Hurt's learning the phone right now.
Okay, there we go.
I'm not the only one.
Long-time listener.
There you go.
Thanks, Eric. Welcome to the chat. By the way, Eric, I don't know if you were listening, but I gave a lot of love to the RX-7.
And I appreciate that you did that, but it's completely bullshit that the RX-7 isn't on any of your lists.
Well, no, I was saying he subliminally loves FC RX-7s because he picked two cars that are pretty much FC RX-7s.
Oh, man. You guys are a bunch of jabronis, okay?
What are you doing?
I'm pretending to work on my car.
That's a lamp.
Yeah.
Is that a Stone Cold in the background right there? It's chilling.
Oh, Cole, you better get it together.
Yo, it's blurry. Oh, it's The Rock. All right, man. I couldn't see it. Like you're like.
All right, I'll let you slide.
I thought that was
You
Vin.
built the crazy. I see you got two crazy cars back there. You built the track yet?
Not yet, but I mean, I'm just making room. That's what I'm doing. I'm selling all my cars. So if anyone wants an RX-7 or a Corolla, I need to make room for my crazy car course.
He wants to put an LS in that RX-7 if you sell it to him. So.
Soupy can't even finish his own LS RX-7.
Oh.
Yeah.
These words come from you, Hurt.
If I had an LS RX-7, it'd run.
Damn.
Yo, I said, guys, folks, listen here. I've said this. Next season of Build and Battle, me and Hurt versus Dan and Soupy.
Let's go, baby.
Yo,
Let's do it. I'm down.
What is that again? Is that a competition?
If you take Vinny's sense of style and capability of finding good deals and my idiocracy, we can build the perfect vehicle.
I guarantee we outbuild the premier builders with our bullshit tactics.
So Bolt-On Boys versus the Fab Fam.
Get Dan on here. I'm ready to talk some shit.
Wow.
Is that the energy I bring? I just bring shit talk energy?
Yeah, it came right out.
Ron, can we develop our own team? I feel like we got left out of this group right here.
I know, dude. You know what? I'm with you. Let's pick some pure shit that we'll definitely lose. But
we know you guys are buried under a pile of emails, so it's not even worth trying to bring you in.
Who's are going to answer this email? Hold on.
Hold on, I got a conference call.
Yeah. Now, Labco Ron, we could bring him in.
Ooh, he could be the judge.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just know Vinny would find a sick deal on like a C6 Z06. Hurt puts wheels on it and sets the ride height, and that's it. That's all you guys
all
do.
we do is hang out the rest of the time.
And Vinny, we pocket the rest. Let's pocket it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think Hurt would just pocket the rest. These two would just split the money and run.
No,
They
honestly,
wouldn't even buy wheels. They would just be spray painting some wheels. You know what I mean? They cut.
Yeah, that's
the
disrespectful to Hurt saying he's just going to spray paint some wheels.
Yeah, you don't know your boy. That's the only place I don't slack.
Yo, Hurt is 90% of the money on the wheels.
Hey, just picture this. Picture me rolling. C5 Corvette, slammed, VSKF, spinners. Let's go, baby.
You didn't even change the spark plugs. Like it's misfired.
You don't need to change spark plugs on
enough
LS.
power under 4
You could go 150,000 miles without changing the oil or the spark plugs in an LS. Ask me how I know. Ask me how I know.
Oh shit!
So good. All right, let's get this list going back on.
All right. Good luck, guys. I'll be back later.
See you, Hurt.
So here we are. List is on board, boys. Porsche 944, Mazda Miata, DC2 Integra, BMW E36, and Fox Body. Based off fan vote, enters the arena. We got to stack these things in the order from fifth to first, best to worst, worst to best.
I'm gonna throw it out there right now. Porsche 944, number 3. Just because everyone agreed, other than Vinny, that was a good cop. It just has the most votes amongst the group.
Yep.
The team put it number 2. Soupy was saying it's a strong one. You can find them everywhere. It's a 50-50 balance car. You throw a LS in there, it's great. And you can find it real cheap.
Yep.
Number 3. I don't think it's number 1. I think it's number 3. I'm just being honest with my pick.
I'll take the number 3. That sounds about right.
I'm not opposed. I'm not opposed to that.
I'm super opposed to it, but I'm just gonna shut my mouth.
So this might
also, I'm really I've gotten really hungry, so my energy levels are low. I'm running out.
You
So
have 5 more minutes, Vin. We have to solve this in 5 minutes, buddy.
Hog time.
They're really good. Little tip: the bigger ones are better because they don't have corn syrup in them. Those small ones have corn syrup.
Yeah, they got the palm oil.
Wait, are those Thin Mints? What are you eating?
Oh, it's a Reese's peanut butter cup.
I can't even show you guys what I'm eating. I'm eating Taco Bell. I'm at Taco Bell right now. 90s menu, throwback.
You're at Taco Bell or a scene from Rocco's Modern Life, if it were real.
Dude, green. You know, Rocco had this serious style going back then.
So here's another point I'm going to bring up. The Fox body had the most struggle to get in. Would that make it the automatic fifth since it had to go through venting to get in?
I don't know. Maybe. I'm going to go ahead and say that I think the Integra is in the first place position.
100%. No questions asked. Integra number one.
So
I don't know. I think I can't say the Integra would be number one because
go ahead, Vin.
To make it fast as a drag race car or a time attack car or
I'm talking as a road race car.
As a road race car, you got a lot of work ahead of you to make that thing go fast.
No, it's
or E36.
No. No way.
Yes.
No way. No way. They're really easy to set up. You set them up so the back end slides around. It's kind of like you pull with the front. I'm telling you, it will out corner your E36 all day. All day. It will go into the corner.
You are on the verge of contracting the coronavirus and you're
No, 100%.
By the way, I hear
go check your fever.
Pause. I hear a real life challenge because Vinny, you have an E36 that we've given you. We will give Soupy an Integra. You boys build the cars. We'll figure out which one's faster.
Single mine.
Yeah, 100%.
Soupy's giving me an LS6 for the E36, so mine's gonna be faster.
I don't care. You can put an LS6 in it. I'll give you the LS6.
It might be a boat anchor, but he said it's an LS6 that's been sitting outside for like 4 decades.
So here's my argument to the DC2 Integra, and I'm only going to space this off by the votes from Patem, chat. You have a strong competitor for first, which is the Mazda Miata as well. The Mazda Miata and the DC2 have been neck and neck all day. That's going to, I think, going to be your guys' biggest battle to figure out what is going to be that number one. Is it the Miata or the DC2?
I don't know, man. I feel like I know the Miata is that car, but
wait, we're forgetting one massive variable here.
What?
What's that? Driver?
Does it have VTEC?
What's up?
What motor's in the Integra? Is it a
V18
V16 non-V V18?
No, it would either be an LS 1.8 non-VTEC or but it's easy enough
If
just
it's
to
got
do
a
an
GSR, if it's got a GSR, I'm in.
Let me show you guys a list real quick. I'll show you guys a list of how it's just kind of roughly organized. It's getting close, but take a look at that list. So from fifth, as a rough, we have Mustang, Fox Body Mustang fifth, BMW E36 fourth, Porsche 944 third, which I think everybody decided on, Mazda Miata second, and DC2 Integra first. So now that you guys have a layout, you guys will have to battle now to wrap this up.
Let me ask you this: what motor's in your E36?
None.
No, like it would be like either the 4-banger or the 6-banger.
Yeah, it'd be a M50 or M52.
Right?
Yeah, gross. I'll take any Honda motor over that motor.
We're talking
That's why
Miata. You're just taking digs at me. I thought it was up against Miata and DC2.
See, I'm not into Miatas. I just can't get it.
That's why I'm saying the Integra would win if it has a cool motor, because like Miatas don't rev high and they're not fast. At least if you could rev to like 8,000 or 9,000 RPM.
I feel like Dan should be calling in to fight us on the Miata right now.
Oh man, Dan, dude. Yeah.
You know what, the way I feel about the Miata is like the way I feel about like certain bands. Like I know that like they're like important into the genre, but I just don't give a fuck about them. Right?
Miata is the vanilla ice cream of ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that is the
like it's great.
Analogy.
It's great. There's a time and a place for it, but like if you go to an ice creamery, you're not like, oh, I'm gonna get vanilla. You know, you want something with some more flavor.
Are they the Coldplay of cars?
That's the Coldplay of cars, man.
How does the Coldplay of cars do?
Listen to Coldplay on the weekend than anyone else, and they clearly are talented. And each one of us has secretly at some point sang a Coldplay song. I don't want them on the top of my MySpace list.
So, chat, let's do this. Chat, hashtag my list, hashtag not my list. Let's see if you guys can battle out. We have Foxbody once again 5th, E36 4th, 944 3rd.
Miata's like, yo, you can't fit big people in them. Like that, it cuts out a huge piece of the population.
It does. It does. It does.
Huge piece of your population.
You honestly fit well in a Miata.
I don't know. I don't even think I've ever driven
With a
one.
helmet on and a cage on track.
No, probably not.
Exactly.
If you guys are keep an eye on chat right now, my list is going off right now. We have a few not my list. I think the argument.
People are agreeing with this.
Yeah, I think we're getting pretty damn close. The Miata, the beautiful thing about the Mazda Miata is that they're spec series anywhere. If you buy a Miata, you can literally go to any shithole racetrack across the world and drive a Miata and get door to door with somebody.
But here's what I'll say to that is that all those spec Miata series, those guys are dropping like 30 G's for a motor that makes 5 more horsepower than the other guy.
We sold our blown 1 point whatever 8 it was because people need those motors. We sold it for a ton of money, even though it was blown, because people need those motors to build competition motors that they're dropping 20 grand into. Like the Spec Miata series is out of control. Spec 944 series, though, is a pretty good series.
It is.
That is.
And
Yep.
Dan will tell you that it's hard to find certain Miata suspension parts even because all the spec guys buy them all up. It's all gone.
And that's why like, all seriousness, obviously I'm a Porsche guy, I'm a Euro guy, but the reason I pushed the 944 thing is there's still a lot of them available.
Right.
After we got Dark Card for $200, and I thought we wanted to buy another one. I have yet to be able to find another Miata that's running for under $1,500. Like, they are just not that car. Where you can find 944 crap like in junkyards all day long, and I think that's an important part for a track car is that you can still support it. And the integrity the same way. Like, you might not find the VTEC engine everywhere, but you can find a lot of the other replacement parts, body panels, things like that cheap. And I think that's really important. So, and like, I just think that going after that, where the Miata has just become, because so many people love it, it has its own like track day tax. You know, we talk about drift tax on 240s. It has track day tax. And because of that, it's no longer the best car. 10 years ago, it was the best car. But I think today, it's just, there's a lot out there. So anyway, that's my thing.
So
someone said 944 is the old man.
Old man Miata. It's such a great comment.
I'll take that, man. I'm 40. I'm old as dirt right now, man.
So do we have any complaints on the board right now, or are we final answer locked and load right now? Foxbody 5th, E36 4th, 944 3rd, Miata 2nd, Integra 1st. Soupy, do you have any changes you would think you'd add, or are you good?
No, man. That's my list right there. I'm with that.
I'm still arguing E46 over 36. Any straw poll we did with the audience, 46.
I know, but Soupy and Batim are professionals, have ran race teams, and they both shit on that car.
Whatever.
Yo,
Whatever.
There's a lot of people think he's cool. That's clearly not, right?
And I think the DC2 Integra is a strong first. Scotty, you dropped that video on us that just said that's the nail in the coffin. You can't argue that.
Real-time car. I mean,
you can't argue that.
It was the only front-wheel drive car running in the series, and it was stopping them all.
Yep.
I'm sold, boys. If you guys are sold, I think we're locked. I think this might be the top 5 best cars with supported data, with the Craigslist. You guys dug knee-deep in Craigslist and all the other secret spots on there to find these things. There's supported data behind this. I think we have our list.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I'm still not sold on the 944, but I'm not going to fight that battle. I would need like a pretty big lunch and a digestion period to get back in the battlefield and fight that one.
Do a whole stream of just me and you fighting on the 944. I'll bring my team, you bring your team. Yo, Soupy even said he doesn't like 944s, but he still thinks it belongs on the list. That's a strong vote for the 944.
Mm-hmm.
Have you driven one? It's a perfectly handled.
My team would just be hurt, who would just reply no to everyone who said anything.
It's a good, solid track day car, man. Like, and there's a lot of companies that make like bolt-in cages for it, like just real simple stuff. A lot of people race 944s, but it is a bunch of old men. I agree. So
I love how we're arguing for 3rd place and not 1st or 2nd.
Because I think there's sometimes just true winners in that world where you're like, Oh yeah, I get it. Like that's that car, right?
Yep.
So,
It's fine. I'll give it to you that, at least one of your 8 cars of your top 5 made it into the list.
no, what are you talking about? Fox Body Mustang is mine, 944 is mine, and in number 6 place is CRX, also mine.
There's not a 6th place.
Well, he was only supposed to have 5.
No.
Yo.
Oh, jeez.
I think final answer, judges.
By the way, can we watch some 944 on track real quick?
No,
If you want to pull it up to seal the deal for 3rd place, please.
I've got it up.
Of course you have it.
All right, here's Scotto defending the 3rd place podium winner.
Back to them, and wow, we've still got another 2 groups to get going as we see the second but last group get going, and they're getting willing for it already.
The important thing for these groups
Hey,
that
Scotto,
are
pull
being
audio down a little bit.
let loose now is that they must go
About a quarter.
and go hard
Quarter.
early. They can't afford to be
There you go.
scrapping within themselves.
Honestly,
They look sick right now.
Because
But they all are slammed. That's the way to run 944.
They're away
All
now
hurt
heading
jump
into
I think.
turn
Yo, I love
2.
small wheels
The
with big
leaders going
tires.
through turn 7
And they
and
run
8
big
around
tires,
the Gunther in the
315s
middle of
on
the
the
circuit.
backside.
So that's the distance. It's
wanna
about
put 16s on
1.9 to
that
2
14.
Ks of lap.
39 seconds it was. That's a
big
lot.
Anyway, I'm just saying, I think it's a really overlooked
good they
chassis.
are.
Like,
That's kind of
I
what a
wish
handicap race is. Let's see
finish
how good you
Ashton's
are,
car,
guys.
'cause
It's exactly what a handicap race is. So,
It's just
which is fantastic. So,
Is that the warm-up
the
lap,
winners of our
or
early
is that
races are
the
away.
actual race?
Most low-key diss ever said.
I mean, typical road racing, right? It never looks
I'll give you the hot tip. And
And on the next most exciting video, we're going to watch this paint dry. A time lapse of rust forming.
You see Brian Scotto comment, "This is the best racing ever."
And I road race. Like, I love it. But
Oh,
boy,
yeah.
944s.
Yes.
Go like that, chat. Go find that. And
Go.
bump that up. There's only like 2 comments. So make mine the one. It's a small community of people who like this car, but there are people who race them all the time. By the way, Doug Macy, 944 07K 5-cylinder. That is an ill setup for that car. Is that
project is dope?
Has that motor in it? It's great. So, well, what? So are we done?
I think that's the final answer. I think you sealed the deal with the data. I think you guys provided all the content. I think Soupy stepping in and Batim stepping in to verifying our decisions seals the deal. Ron Carr provided data. Unfortunately, the Eclipse didn't make it, Ron. I was rooting for the Eclipse low key.
I still stand behind my list. RSX would smoke all those cars.
I don't know. That McPherson strut in the RSX is pretty crappy.
Details. Big ass tire, turbo kit, K20 stock.
And by the way, Scotto, is these VODs, are they getting jumped over to bonus channel? So these guys have a chance to comment their list on our bonus channel, right?
Yeah, so all these videos will end up on bonus channel. We heard you guys the other day, so we're going to try to kind of leave this up for maybe another 20, 30 minutes. So any of you guys who are behind, you'll get to watch it, and then we'll move it to unlisted, and then we will move it over to bonus channel and re-upload them over to bonus. So you guys can watch this again at midnight on bonus.
Cool.
Anything else you guys want to add before we go thank Falcon real quick?
I can share more 944
Oh,
video.
God. We're going to thank Falcon.
Yeah, let's go ahead and thank Falcon.
Guys,
Yeah,
this was a battle of the ultimate Craigslist gladiators. We saw fists be thrown. We saw headbutts. Blood was shed. We found our ultimate top 5 list. And thank you to Falcon Tire for giving us the arena to battle in on our live stream, Hoonigan live stream. Once again, Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time till 3 o'clock. We found the top 5. We'll show that list right now. Thank you to Falcon Tire. Give it up to Soupy. Once again, the 3 hosts that destroyed this competition. Nobody's dead, so I think we won. But until tomorrow.
Guys, let us know if you guys want to see this again. Just let us know in the chat right now. I don't know. What should they tell us if they want to see this again, Corey?
Ooh, in chat, if you were to, are we going to do this on the bonus, or should we send something over to Falcon?
Well, we should definitely send something to Falcon, but we want to know, do we want more Good Cop,
Yes.
Bad Cop episodes? Is this a format? Today was the pilot, right? So at the
Let's
end of
do
this,
this.
we want to see what your ratings are. So definitely hit like if you like this episode.
Yep.
That's way to see. Hit like. We'll see if you like this one, and we'll do more good comments.
Save the comments for bonus, guys. Once the YouTube video gets uploaded to bonus, the comments will stay there forever, and we'll use that on what you guys want to see on Good Cop or No Cop. But
man, ID Photo Work said show everyone the Mansell BTCC Monday.
oh, we got to end it on that. We got to show that, and we'll end it
right now. Why don't Ron, you decide what we're gonna send people right now to Falcons Instagram. What are we gonna rate them with today? What's the comment? I think the comment is 944s are the originator of the FC, because I think that'll upset Nick.
Anybody on Falcons page is gonna be like, "What's the 944?"
I'll let you, what we're gonna raid Falcon with today to show them the appreciation for the support in this.
I would say thank you for Good Cop, Bad Cop, because honestly, this was some of the most fun I've had since house arrest.
This is a good time. This is
really fun. I enjoyed doing this. It's 3 hours went by real quick. So thanks to everyone for watching.
Vinny last night was like, dude, I don't think I could do more than an hour. We're 3 hours and 15 minutes into this. Vinny's looking a little peaked. He's going to go eat.
I literally blew my entire schedule. I was like, yeah, I could do 12 to 1. And then I just stayed on. And my phone's been ringing a bunch. And I've just been not answering it. So
phone's been blown up.
But yeah, it's great. This is cool. I'm down. Let's do more of these.
Absolutely.
Scott, are you getting that video ready? Scott will show that, and we'll wrap by watching one of the most iconic motorsports video in history.
Keep talking. Just to find this, I forgot that I promised.
And by the way, what I'm going to do is remind chat. Let's go back to the originals. So, Vin, you originally had the Continental, the SN95, the DC2 Integra, Mazda Miata, E36. So, 3 of your cars made it. Going to Ron, you had the Eclipse in 5th, the Subaru GCH, which didn't make it, E46 330i, which didn't make it, the Nissan Hardbody, which didn't make it, and the RSX didn't make it. So, Ron, you had... Did you not have? You have no cars make it to the finals.
Wait, you know what's weird is in the beginning the chat voted Ron's list being the best list and mine being the worst and Vinny's being in the middle. In the end, me and Vinny had more cars in the final.
So if we go,
take that, Ron.
People's champ. People's champ.
And going back to the Scotto's 8 list here,
you guys chose yourselves. You literally chose yourselves.
the Corvette C4, Mustang, Foxbody, and the CRX.
Wait, but if we want to flip this on Scotto, Scotto also has the most cars not on the list because he had the most cars in general.
Ratio-wise, yes.
You win, but you lose.
That way, so I don't know why you would even bring that up. Then that's just not the way you do math. Anyway.
So Scotto, you had the 944 make it. You didn't have the Mini Cooper. You had the Mustang, the Foxbody Mustang squeaked in. But outside of that, you had 2. So Vin technically may have had the 3 OG decisions that made it. Scotto came in 2nd, and then Ron unfortunately had no picks.
And arguably, if you would have moved into 6th position, I would be tied because the CRX was on the list, and that would
if we were in the 6th.
It's top 5. He's arguing for 6.
I love that big name brand.
The funny part is Brian would definitely stay on this and argue about 6th place in a top 5 for the next 2 hours.
100%. 100%.
Like, I'm having a hard time finding this video. If anyone in chat knows it, it is the Nigel Mansell touring car race. He's racing in the rain in the Mondeo. If you can throw that link up, that would be good.
And fellas, unfortunately, I got to run.
See you soon.
Get restless. I'll talk to you guys next time.
Yeah, buddy.
See you, Soups.
See you, Soups. Thanks for swinging by and helping.
All right, later.
Man, I can't find this as...
The king of the internet. Scotto, you're the king of YouTube, and you can't find it? How is this possible?
It's like it's disappeared. I mean,
the mayor of YouTube can't find a video?
Dude.
Yeah, it's the pressure.
The bishop of bandwidth.
The bishop of
bandwidth.
That's almost as good as thick.
Oh shit, that's amazing.
I don't even remember what thick stood for. Do you guys remember that on Twitch?
Isn't it just like tallest hoonigan in charge?
I think so, yeah. And it was because I hadn't played
Thickano?
What? I hadn't played the game that Hurt was playing, and I came in and beat Hurt in the game. It was that Grand Tour game. And then I just wouldn't let Hurt play me again, and Hurt was so mad that he lost, I just held it over. So.
What was the video? It's the Nigel Mansell.
Nigel Mansell in a touring car race. He was racing the Mondeo, and it's like in the rain, and it's just wild because he spins off track and then gets back on and chases everyone down. And it's just some of the best that has ever existed. So I think it might have been at Donington. I'm trying to find it.
I think you have everybody in chat on YouTube right now on YouTube typing in Nigel Mansell. He's going to be trending tomorrow in the top 10.
I'm wondering if it's been taken down, like it was footage from like one of the race series, and they've gone and pulled it all and scrubbed it from YouTube.
Well, if you find it, throw that up on your story. Let's get that on your IG story if you end up finding it.
Yeah, I'm watching a bunch of other racing, which is also difficult because I'm like losing track. Like, ooh, this is a good race too. By the way, Nigel Mansell, one of the best touring car racers of all time, obviously. Also Formula One and everything else, but this is just I can't find it. All right, we're gonna have to, unless someone else is finding it, we're gonna have.
I struck out.
We're gonna have to bring it back on the next time we're on. Yep. So if anyone can find it, throw it up in Discord, and we'll make sure to include that. So anyway, guys, I had a lot of fun today. I hope you guys had a lot of fun. This is like one of the best days I've had since we've all been in quarantine. This is the kind of conversation I want to have every day. Certainly a lot of fun. Thank you guys for staying on to the bitter end. A lot of you guys hung on and listened to us try to make this list.
Yeah, and I think one of the things we should do next time on this is do some user-generated, like have the comment well send us links on cars to do good cop or bad cop, because that could be fun.
That's another version. We could do user-generated good cop, bad cop, and actually have them create their list too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be fun. This is honestly a great way to spend your day, because I've been pretty bored at spending days completely by myself. So this is nice.
Conference call.
100% agree.
You have 12 cars to work on, Ven. You have plenty of things. Guys, thank you all for watching. Tomorrow we'll be back 12 Pacific Standard Time to 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Make sure you guys tune back in. Until tomorrow, we'll see you guys then.
Give it up for our ringleader, Corey.
Oh, we're ending. We're done. We're done.